Hey, there he is. What's up? I had to change into my dirty attire. I don't own very many sweatshirts that aren't stained, so I try to keep a few that aren't stain free. I assume you can hear me? Yeah. Yes, wardrobe change. I had to get into my nasties. Do. Well, Bryce had to call it quits, man. The night was just getting interesting. Jeez. So you got a pile of Fords, huh? I got. You know what? I don't even know if I'm. I should be. Let me see if I'm even sub key. You sound familiar. Mm, huh. Yeah, his old lady kind of runs the roost. It's kind of funny. I give him shit about it. Yo, Tall John, what's up, brother? Um, I poke shit at him about it. I give him shit all the time about it. It's fun. I don't have an old lady, so I don't have to worry about it. Ah, there you are. Aha. Aha. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I have that hasn't even been on. I'll go through and check you out a little bit more later. Um, there's a lot of stuff I haven't even shown yet on my channel. Uh, yeah. Rusty Iron Brother, what's up? Well, we're not raining here. That's for dang sure. How's it out there? It's probably just chilly as all get out. Are you guys getting any snow at all up there? We haven't gotten anything here, none whatsoever. And it's been in the 20s for the last couple of weeks, but we ain't got nothing. Yeah. I'm not single because of my Fords. I'm single because I choose to do my cars. I just happen to have a lot of Fords. Yeah, cold, no snow. Yeah, same here. It's weird. We should have had something long by now. I live so where Rusty Iron lives. He's on more the northern, eastern end of the state. They typically get a lot more snow than we do. I live in a valley, in the Willamette Valley, more or less. I'm just north of Portland, Oregon. In this valley area, we don't normally get a lot of snow, but usually we get a big douching at least 2-3 weeks out of the year. And it's usually right around this time. And it's been cold but nothing. Which I'm not going to complain because usually it's pissing down rain and miserable. It's been dry, so I'll take the dry cold any day of the week. You think so? I don't know, man. I'm banking on when it rolls around to March, April, it's just going to rain and never stop. It just at least here, that's what it seems like it always does. Oh, you are from the Willamette Valley, so you escaped from here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I hope we don't have a drought. Do you know what the bean counters are going to do? Idiots. Oh, you guys aren't even getting cold enough. Yep. Well, I'm in Vancouver. I'm right across the river. So I'm well aware of Portland, and I've been down to Salem a time or two. Yep. Right now, it's crazy. Salem is like the mecca for car stuff. Anytime I look up Marketplace, it's always in freaking Salem. or Oregon City, or yeah, that area, right? Sometimes Beaverton a little bit. I hate going to Beaverton. Anytime you head west up 30, it's a nightmare. I hate going that direction. I hate crossing the bridge, to be honest with you. But yeah, so if they're still here, I'm sure you hear all about it. It ain't getting any better. I wouldn't mind getting out of here, but as you can see, I've got a lot of crap that might stop that. Now, Baker, Rusty Iron, Baker is a cool little town. I've been through Baker a time or two. It's got some neat history. It's a sleepy little town. I like Baker. I don't like the fact it's in Oregon, but I like Baker. But I don't even think Baker wants to admit they're in Oregon either. Oh, right on. How do you like it out there versus here, other than the snow and the cold? It's probably got to be better than here. Yeah, I like Baker. Whenever I head down to see my uncle or head east, it usually ends up going through Baker, heading down that way. That's a nice little town I like to stop in. Dink around for a little bit, grab a bite, and continue on my way. I like Baker. Oh, yeah. So you got a little bit of that going on there too, huh? Freaking California. It's everywhere. It's done it here. It's done it in Idaho. Definitely hit California pretty good. What's up, John? Yeah, it's Californians know. I want to say I hope they come up here without those intentions, but I don't see it. It's like they just can't not do their way. I think some do flee with good intentions, but they bring the ones that don't have good intentions with them. I know it's changed around here. Well, especially he's been there for 20 years. I'm guarantee you, Billings 20 years ago was like a different planet. I mean, because Montana was always like the last frontier. Nobody lived out there. My uncle, he lives in Elko, Nevada. That's why he moved there, because nobody lived there. And even Elko, as small as it is, uh, it's exploded too for its size. Oh, were you out for the swap meet by chance? It seems like you're in April. Ah, 162. Hey, man, you're the exception. You're one of those few guys I can count on not trying to screw the system up. You're one of the last front fighters, I think, trying to break the system. It's not your fault. uh, he's NorCal, and even Northern California doesn't want to admit Southern California exists. Family emergency. That's usually not good. I got your back, brother. No, I have some friends that live in NorCal too, and they're the same way. They send a middle finger to Southern California all the time. No, it's not. It has the fixings to be a pretty nice place if you get the. I don't want to get political. Get the right leadership in that joint. I mean, it used to be a real great state to live in back in the '60s and '70s. It was really a nice place. My parents lived there for a little while. Just Hollywood. L.A. Well, shoot, back in the day, my dad used to. They lived in San Diego, and my dad would run up to L.A. to get stuff done for his hot rods and things like that. And that was back when there was chrome platers in every corner, and it was just a different world back then. And now, I don't think any of that stuff even exists now. It's all over the border, I think. Oh yeah. One of the guys I served with, he's a CHP officer. I want to say he's outside of Sacramento somewhere. I give those guys props, man. They got to deal with a lot of crap. Really? You know what? I believe that. Clear pictures of LA during COVID. That would be something to definitely see because you wouldn't believe it. I heard it was like an apocalyptic moment with no cars on the road and smog not filling the air as bad as it usually does. Yeah, that had to have been crazy and enjoyable for a moment. I'll have to look at your channel and see some of the toys you did share. I'll eventually get some of my stuff on here as I move along through stuff. I just been so busy. Uh, I haven't had a chance to make. Just making those shorts was taking a bit of my time. I think I spent like an hour in each one of those shorts I made. I was like just trying what I could to carve out the time for the shorts. Medical. Oh, medical stuff. Yeah, LA with those. Well, that's the way they designed that town. They wanted automobile heavy, and that's what they got. I didn't think LA was nearly as bad as it was back in the 60s and 70s because cars themselves have gotten to be a lot cleaner. Their crazy restrictions they put on everything. I would imagine back then it was probably pretty bad. I got this little air compressor I'm working on. They were trying to throw it in the dumpster at work, and I'm like, no. So I had to buy another motor for it. The pump's okay, but the motor was shot. So I went and had some paint mixed up to match the speed air green. That's my little project I'm working on right now. I'm supposed to be doing more to my truck, but painted the headliner and stuff. Oh boy. So what do I own? Well, let's see if I can cover all these. I have, if you could barely see it, that right there is a 1920, 24, 25. I don't remember exactly. So it's a closed car, like a four-door or sedan T that the previous owner converted into a C cab, and it's steel. It's a steel body. I don't know if this camera's gonna. I'll probably make you guys dizzy and drunk. Let's see if this thing's gonna work. You can kind of see it. Billy! Man, you didn't have to do that. Thanks, brother. Jeez. So that's a 26, I'm sorry, 24, 25. The only thing original on it is a cowl from the closed car. The sides, this thing's on a cord. Last time I tried taking the cord for a walk, it unplugged itself. Let me see if it'll do it. Oh. Okay. So you can kind of see. One of these days I'll unbury the damn thing. Here we go. So the sides on it are all steel. It's got a little bit of wood on the inside just for the interior. It's hard to explain when you can't see any of it. Has a soft top, a windshield. I got to come up with something. It's small block Chevy. That's not by my choice. Previous owner put the Chevy in it. If Bill Cameron was here, he'd be pretty happy. Here, let me put you back up here so I don't get yellow. There, okay. So it was a project I bought. I bought it in a million pieces. I bought it like, I don't know, 20 years ago, and it's never got all put back together. One of these days I'll get it finished. I kind of went back and forth on how I wanted to do it because I wanted to make a bunch of changes. Then life happened. I had kids and a divorce and da 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 da. So they got super backburnered. And the next all over is my Ranchero, my 67. Um, let's see if I can name off all the other junk I have. So I have two Mopars. One is love you too, brother Billy. Thanks, man. You didn't have to do that though. Gosh, I super appreciate you, brother. Check out Billy, man. He's a funny dude. He puts out some awesome shorts. If you ever need a good laugh or two, man, just look him up. He's I like Billy. He's a good dude. Um, so on the Mopar thing, I have a 73 and 74 Dusters. Those are the only Mopars I have. Um, what's in the 67? So this one here's got a 289. Well, actually, it's a 302 now. C4 automatic, 8-inch rear. It's originally that dark metallic green with parchment interior was its original. What's up, brother Chris? Um, Now, theoretically, I only have the one Ranchero, but since my father passed away, I don't really count it as mine, but I'm like the caretaker of his. He's got a 67 Ranchero, which is a factory big block 390 C6 bench seat car, which I found was a bench seat. He tried telling me it was a bucket seat car. It's not. It's a bench seat car. And, but it's that T Code 390, the two barrel, and it's needing a restoration. Um, then I have three 56 Fairlanes, one two-door Fairlane, one two-door custom line, and a four-door Fairlane. Then I have a 55 Victoria Fairlane. And then I have a 678 Mustang 2, 71 Comet GT, 266 Mustangs, 150 F1. I have a 51 F1, 76 short bed pickup, 78 Super Cab short bed, 68 and 9 F100s. Let me think. Am I getting them all? This is bad. 71 Comet GT. I think I already mentioned that one. Let me think. Hey, there's Bryce. Inline 6. Oh, there you go. Yeah, yeah. Hardtop car, I'm assuming. Yeah, 500 XL 390 auto. Awesome. Hell yeah. There was some dude that came out from Montana to this area and bought someone's Fairlane project. I don't, unless that was you. I'm always lurking on Facebook Marketplace. Donate one to me. You'll probably end up driving one of these days. I have a few running and not be able to drive them all. Backup Fairlanes. Well, the four-door 56 is a parts car. The 56 custom line was something I kind of wanted to drive in the summertime. It's kind of a beater, but I wanted just to be my beater of the heater. Summer driver, cruiser, you know. The 56 Fairlane was my actual one I wanted to build. It's the two-door post, which I have a 55 nose on it. Because at the time I didn't really care much for 56 noses, but I kind of grown to like them a little bit. So it's a 56 with the 55 nose, 55 trunk and taillights. It's going to be a weird bag of nuts when I take it to a show if I ever get it to that point. The 56 custom line, I'm just leaving it pretty much as is, make it run and drive, play, whatever. That's another one that's sitting on the back burner. I got too many projects, I'll be honest with you. Eventually I'll sell some. Eventually I'll just be like, whatever. Down the road it goes. My 51 F1 I'm going to sell. I have my 73 Duster up for sale right now. 74 Duster may go at some point. I like the Dusters. I'm more of a Ford guy. And it's easier for me to keep one brand of parts around than try to keep parts for Plymouths and Dodge and Ford and GM. Run out of space fast. I like them all. 64 Chevelle's another one I like. I wouldn't mind a 68 Cutlass. I think those are cool. I'm not a big CUDA guy. I don't really care for Chargers. I guess the super popular stuff I could care less about. Uh, you need a Ram. Yeah, I need a Ram like I want to get rammed. I like all cars. I mean, I like a lot of the odd stuff. Oh, lucky you. 5 acres. Yeah, but so what are you going to do? Take all the cars down there to store? Hell, the cars in Colorado are worse shape than anywhere else. I've been trying to sell that Duster, Chris. I just cannot seem to get a buyer on that thing. So why Colorado? If you don't mind me asking. My boy lived there for a while, and I passed through, and that's probably about the last time I want to be in Colorado is when I pass through. I'd like to buy a little bit of land somewhere. Oh, there you go. I mean, the price is definitely right. I mean, good lord, that's cheap. Yeah, 4,000 for 5 acres. Problem is it's unless you're retired or you work remotely or have X number of months or whatever off, it's hard to deal. I'd love to find something like that though that isn't too far from me. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, storage would be handy. There's a buddy of mine that lives down in Dayton that keeps saying I can bring cars down to his place, but I hate putting them on other people's land, and I don't like being really far away from them because if I need to get something off one of them or if I want to reference something off one, then it's like hours away. Yeah, I'm on a third of an acre, and it's full. It is full. I I actually have 2 cars over at my mom's right now. Bless her soul, she puts up with me. But my dad pretty much ruined her, so it wasn't hard to do. You have cars in Oregon too. Do you own some land in Oregon still? There's some decent land in Oregon too. It's a bit of a drive. Your parents. I know that one. But you got to put them somewhere. That's all I can say. You don't want them going to the scrapper. And I've been seeing a lot of good buys lately. Man, there's a lot of good buys out there. Makes me a little nervous about what the market's doing. Is your dad into cars? I wouldn't mind looking at him either. Nice. Stand up get up in the morning and look out the back room window with a coffee in hand, out there looking at my rows of cars. Oh, there you go. Now, same story as me. If he don't mind looking at them, it works out perfect. It was kind of funny. My dad was a little bit the other way around. He was always, bitching and moaning at me about buying too many cars. He was just as bad, but never to the extent I've been. Like, I think he passed away in 2020. So I'd be, about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 5 years ago. And he left behind 8 cars. 2 of them are newer, while one of them is a 93. But, of course, he left them all ripped apart. There you go. You're up in 9 Mile, if I remember right. Is that right, Rusty? Or up near 9 Mile? I'm trying to remember. Nope. Sorry, Taco. Not right now. Let's come back later. Kettle Falls. Okay. It's in that area. You're outside Spokane there a little ways. You're up in the quiet corner of the state. Not down here where all the garbage is going on along I-5. Oh, right on. Is your parents' place like Central Oregon or something? Oh, probably Salem. You mentioned Salem earlier. Yeah. There's a lot of car people in Salem. I was actually, it didn't used to be that way, but I'm pretty sure the way things have gone in Portland has drove everybody out. Uh, yeah, yep. Uh, I think a lot of people moved to Salem because they were basically chased out of Portland. There's a lot of car people in Salem, more than I thought. Oregon City and Salem, that area right in there. Man, there's a ton of people that are into cars, which is cool. I mean, if you live there, yeah, do that. We'll have to hook up or something and go to a run or just come by, say hi or something. It's during the summertime or when the warmer months. May's not bad, but June, July, August, I get super busy at work. We're paving, striping, just going to town, and those are my busy months. But May wouldn't be bad. All right, you're gonna roll out the '69 Ranchero. Sweet. Oh, 5 miles from Canton. Oh, okay. You are way more north than I thought. Yeah, you're closer to Oroville. My dad was offered a job when we moved up here way back in the day in Oroville, which I think he might have regretted taking. I don't know. The one here worked out all right. But I kind of like that corner of the state. A little cold, a little snowy. Yep, Chris, it's usually ugly. I don't know. I might do the striper truck this year. We'll see. I don't know if we're gonna get any snow, bud. It's not looking good. I was looking at the forecast. It shows clouds moving in by the end of next week, which would be snow, but then it's warming up. It's like, dang it. Usually if it stays cold enough and then the clouds roll in, we'll get our snow. But the clouds roll in first and then warms everything up. Not far. Yep. Just west of an hour. Yep. Okay. Yep. I know right where you're at now. I have to remember that. I know you're up in the hills. Yes, it is. Yeah, my uncle lives in Elko, Nevada. I don't know. Why would you be coming through to Nevada? Oh, I guess, yeah. I guess you will catch part of it if you go the long way through Oregon there. Working, come on. Who are you trying to fool? Come on. Good, get some work done. Battle Mountain. I know that name. Why am if I saw a map, I could figure it out. But Battle Mountain's familiar. What are you working on, Chaz? Hey, Randall, what's up, buddy? Man, you're up way past your bedtime. How's it going, bud? Oh yeah, and I think you put out a video. I seen you had some video about working on the Tundra. I haven't even watched that one yet. I've been kind of preoccupied myself. Snow apocalypse. Okay, that's why Battle Mountain sounds familiar. Is it east or west of Elko? I want to say it's probably east of Elko, isn't it? You have like there's a couple of wells, and somewhere else there to the east. Oh, west. Oh, okay. Giving everything I ignored. Ah, that happens. Yep, that's right, Dancing. That's right. Any Blazer guys in the chat? Do you not see the placard on the door when you walked in the room here, bud? My buddy Chris has got a 73, 77, 77 K5. Trying to get him to build the thing. What are you trying to say, Danson? 77. See? I was right on the second guess. Making a loop, taking the wrench out of Dad, picking up the Galaxy and the MG. Oh, okay. Oh, nice. Well, your Galaxy. I like Elko. It's a nice little town. I mean, my uncle hates it because when he moved there, it was like 4,000 people, and now it's blossomed to 19,000 people. And I'm like, man, this ain't nothing. I love being here compared to Vancouver. Vancouver's just gotten to be ridiculous. 80 to the 90. Oh, okay. That makes sense. I forget how far down Oregon actually is in comparison. I knew that seat was gonna. How's the old sewing machine holding up? I knew it was gonna consume you. I figured you might get lucky and get at least the front seat done. You must be on your way to the back seat now. Hey, it was looking all right though. I don't see any complaints with it. Doing a good job, better than I could do. I can barely sew a patch on my uniform. Ooh, 63 and a half. Nice. 52 MG. Those are cool. No, I like the 63s. Well, 63 and a half being the fastback roof. 390 auto two door. Yeah, that's it. Is it the XL 500 bucket seat car? All right, man. Hey, thanks for stopping in. I super appreciate it. Hope you're doing well out there, buddy, and you getting your garage and stuff all dialed in. I know you just got done doing a move not long ago. Good to see you. Good to hear from you, though. You take care of yourself. Oh, XL 500 buckets. Man, that's the Galaxy to have. I like those. That's a nice car. The only thing that would top that would be a 63 Fairlane 500 sports coupe. It's basically a miniature Galaxy, and that's the coolest thing I like about them. But next to that, I'd take that 63 and a half all day long. No high class for me. She's a wheeler, man, buddy. She's a wheeler. unfortunately, was my first car, which I was an idiot. So before my Ranchero, my dad was trying to give me a 63 Fairlane sports coupe, bucket seat, console, whole 9 yards, complete car. Had a little bit of rust in the floorboards, and had that anemic 260 with the I think it was a 2-speed auto. It was not a very good transmission. Um, he was trying to give it to me, and it had those Fender medallions, and I didn't, at that time, I was like 11 or 12, and I didn't like it. And I look back at it now, and I want to go back in a time machine and just bury these four knuckles right into my own face, because now I wished I would have taken that car. Of course, then I wouldn't have my Ranchero, but I still think I would have enjoyed that 63 better. And I was such an idiot. I turned my nose up at it. I ended up buying this out of a wrecking yard as a shell. And he turned around and sold that 63, and I've never seen it since. And it was a sports coupe, had the reverse light option. Like I said, bucket seats, it was all there. Down years later, I get sick about it because you don't see those things. Well, good. I feel like I'm not the only one then, because I'll tell you that was stupid. And we had a wrecking yard going out of business, so we bought a 4-door parts car for that 63. So we boned it out. I had extra hood, fenders, and a whole bunch of interior stuff. And we needed to take some of the quarter panel off the 4-door to fix the 2-door, because at some point it got hit in the rear and it messed up the wing and all that stuff. So we ended up doing a little patchwork. It ended up turning up nice, but oh man! By the way, it's snowing. It ain't snowing here, unfortunately. Staten Auto Wrecking. Would that happen to be in Staten, Oregon? And I wouldn't be sure. I know there was a couple different wrecking yards that have closed down there in the last year or so. I'm not sure. You might want to ask. Well, Taco might know, or he's down. No, he's not down that way. He's more to the coast. Who the hell's down there? There's a couple other YouTuber guys that are down that way. I'm blanking on his name. He's the guy that fixed up the old school bus. He would know. And there's another guy I've talked to. Yeah. So the dude that did the school buses, he lives closer to Medford. Who's the other guy I know down in that area? There was one guy I was watching his channel, and his place got caught in that wildfire they had a few years ago. It was kind of sad. I think his YouTube channel was Oregon Hot Rod Garage or Oregon Hot Rods or something. Country Boy Garage. There you go. And I don't know if Wasted Talent would know if the wrecking yards are there or not. He's down by Klamath Falls. But I believe Country Boy Gas Garage is closer to Medford, I think. Jason is his name. I remember his name. I couldn't remember his freaking channel. He might know. It was east of Salem. Okay. Towards Sweet Home, right? Yeah, there's a guy I know in Sweet Home. I don't really like him. Okay, yep. I know where you're going now. There's another guy that was heavy into Mustang 2s that lived out that way. What is his name? He got caught up in the fire, too. Another sad one. I'll think of his name in a minute here. Oh, I see. Yeah. So that's right. It's more south and east. You're going directly east. Okay, that makes sense. So that'd be more like Silverton, Uh, what's the other friggin' town that way? My 56 pickups is out of Silverton, Oregon. Oh, I didn't even. That was the other vehicle I didn't mention. I have a 56 F100 too. Got something I can't remember. Okay, yeah. So I usually come down through Malala, down if I'm going to Silverton. So I never coming down 205 and heading east. That's why I get all screwed up. But every once in a great while, I'll head down towards Malala. Um, oh, um, there's a wrecking yard. Key Motors is out there. Well, Key Auto Wrecking, Key Motors, whatever. He's been selling out. Um, I was out there 10 years ago. He sold a lot of stuff, but I heard he got rid of a lot since then. He was outside of, as you're headed out of Malala towards Silverton, is where you would see Key Motors. I'm in Vancouver. I'm just north of Portland, right across the bridge. That's why I don't wander around in Oregon too much. I'm always on the Washington side. Just crossing that bridge is a nightmare. Yeah, Vancouver, Washington. Not Canada. Not Canada. Right across the river from Portland. I mean, I could damn near walk across the bridge to Portland. Oh, do you? Who's your uncle? Is he into cars and stuff? I know some of the guys around here. A lot of the old guys are unfortunately passing away. It kind of sucks. Jusssssss. Doesn't ring a bell. I'm sure I've probably ran into him passing. Oh, not into cars? Okay. Yeah, a lot of the older guys, because I hung around with my dad a lot, I got to know a lot of the older guys in the car side stuff. Oh, musician. Right on. Right on. Well, I'll tell you what. Plenty of places around here to play as a musician. Hey, Rail, what's going on? How's the snow up there? Still dry? We're still dry here, which I'm not going to complain. Cold, no snow. What kind of music do they play? Do they do like special events and stuff or clubs? Samson on the skirt. Catchy name. Oh, okay, right on. Yeah, dry and cold up there. I seen you had snow a while back, but it probably melted off by then. We've gotten nothing. I mean nothing here. Not even a flake. It is so weird. Cold. Been in the 20s for a couple weeks. Cold. At least at night. Oh, BB King, right on. I like a lot of that old stuff. Well, like I said, I'm in the valley. All around us gets feet. We usually don't get that much snow. We'll get, I don't know, as much as we usually get a foot at the most, but that's pretty rare. Usually it's anywhere from 4 to 6 inches, and that's about it. We're down in the valley on the west side of the Cascades, and usually we get blasts. Now on the east side of the Cascades, up where Rail's at, or up where Rusty Iron and all them guys are, they should be in a foot of snow by now. Your tractor's sad. Well, with all the antifreeze going everywhere, I don't think you got to worry about anything in the garage freezing up. My parents were both in the military in San Diego, so I was actually born in San Diego, but then we hightailed it back up here, which is where my dad's family lived up here. So that year we moved back and we bought the house that I grew up in. That was it May something. The mountain blew, so we moved up here just in time for the mountain to blow. Yeah, so I don't remember it. I was super young. See, Rail's another one that escaped. Everyone's leaving us. Oh, how you doing out there, Randall? Yeah, you guys are getting slammed with the cold. How's is it snowing too, or you just getting just the cold? May 18th. Okay. My dad had the clipping put up in the corner of the shop. I just forget. I always look at it, but I forget the date. Nah, Mount St. Helens dancing. I would have been a little over a year old. Yeah, I was January 79. So it would have been a little over a year old. Made by Ross. So you're mainly just battling the cold then. Well, stay warm, buddy. I guess you got plenty of indoor time to get the seats done now. No, but seriously, stay as warm as you can. It's you guys in the Midwest, man. You're getting nailed. We're thinking about you. It's cold here, but we ain't getting no snow. May 10th, 70. Oh, okay. Yeah. So we're about the same age. No, yeah. I was born in January of 79, so depending on which part of 79, Chaz. The end of 79? Yeah, I was basically a year old. Oh, that's awesome. May 10th's a good day. I graduated. Don't date yourself, damn it. Makes me feel young, though. Thank you. Who's dad? That's my dad. Oh, yeah, Chaz's dad. Sounds like I need to flee Portland, too. Everyone else is. I used to live in Portland, and you don't anymore. My dad grew up his high school years in Portland. So back in the 60s, basically, mid to late 60s. Oh, you're like maybe a year older. The only difference is I'm grayer for some reason. I think you dye your shit. I think that's why you look younger. I look like hell. I look like I was born in 1967. Yeah, see, I was January 79. So yeah, you're a couple years older than I am. Ha! I still got all my hair up here, though. It is getting thinner. I went and got a haircut today and I went, oh, geez. I can see a little more light through there. That ain't good. No, see, you wouldn't dye the beard so you could claim that you didn't dye your hair. I know how you guys work. Besides, you Italian guys, you never age. You're like perpetually in your 30s and 40s, and all of a sudden, boom, you're 70. I don't know what it is with you guys. Yeah, January of 79. Yep. I never did. I gave up. Oh, you're February 79? Right on. Oh, we're only a month apart. How do you know about that? Right on. My brother, he's born February of 81. But yeah, right on. Did they really? Yeah, hey, that's an Italian thing. When I was in high school, our history teacher, we were shocked when he said he was like 62 or something. He did not look one bit 62. Jet black hair. He was Italian, he was Italian descent. Guy might have been 40 if he tried. If you were to guess, he said he was 62. Thanks, Danson. I try not to count. I'm just, I guess I'm blessed when I wake up in the morning. I count them day by day now. Oh, woke up. Dang it. Thanks, man. I don't feel older. I just look old. Well, I do feel older. I look even older than that. What about when the country guys? Oh, only in the morning. County guys. I'm a city guy. Well, unfortunately, I don't work night shifts, so I don't get to sleep at work. And I've been there so long, I'm the one that's got to crack the whip on all these young bucks that don't want to do nothing. I don't get to sleep at work. Well, it's either gray or it's bald. It can't be both. Well, an accident will do that to you. You can mess some stuff up that never goes away. Oh, January 59. Nice. All right, Randall. You have a good night. Hey, did you see my short? One of my shorts, your video is playing in the background, and I pointed you out. I didn't tag you in it, but one of the shorts I put out around the 1st of January. I made a little note in there, put your name on it. I was watching your show when I was making my video. Thought it was neat. I had to mark it out. I'll have to tag you in it so you can find it. Yeah. What about the no break thing? Oh, is that how the accident happened? Jason Statham, come on. Male pattern baldness did not become cool because of that guy. It became cool because there was no options. It's both. Yeah, you can jam it into Parker and to gear all you want, but without brakes, it's just, yeah, it's not going to stop. Grab me a drink. Ooh. Yeah, actually, I do. Always has a job. That's true. Yes. Yeah. Useless. No YouTube notifications. You got that right. Those things are about worthless. You know the funny thing, Randall? Before you go, I rarely ever get a notification for your videos, so I'm glad they're always on the Fridays. I just remember to check them out. But yeah, the YouTube notifications are worthless. You got that. So, oh, okay. Thank you. So, my little green machine here. They were tossing this thing away at work. I went, I don't think so. So I ended up getting, I got the pump. The pump down here. The one motor's bad, so I was able to pick another one up for it. I'm just going to put a new motor on it. I'm going to give her a paint job. It's an old Speed Air. I think it's like a 20 gallon, something like that. This one, I'm going to put in the front garage. So it's not a 60 gallon. It's just a little 20, 30. I looked like 60 gallons. This is not. This isn't. 60 gallons, 20 gallons. So. This is actually something I got like 2 years ago, and I was sitting in the front garage, and I'm like, I'm never going to get this done unless I drag it out to the shop. I never do anything in my front garage. And I'm just like, ugh. So I finally, because I was painting my headliner for my truck, figured, well, I might as well get started on this and get this done. So they're all projects I've been needing to do. I never can seem to get done. My main compressor is that one right there. As you can see, 60 gallons, 80 gallons. So that one, that's my shop compressor. That thing's a bad boy. I think it free flows 28 CFM. Sorry, 28 CFM at 90 psi. That pump kicks some butt. It will catch up to my open basin blaster and shut down. That's how much air that thing puts out. It's brutal. So what's next for me? Well, I gotta finish up my blue truck, and then I don't know. I got like 6 different projects I need to get started on. These little ones here isn't gonna take very long. But I found out my son's Ranger needs some more work now, and I'm debating if I should bring that in here and get it done. That way, it's ready for him the next time he comes to visit. Or I got this door over here to straighten out. I don't know if you can see it, that blue one right there. I need to get that done for a buddy of mine. I've got so many. I need to get my 50 F1 down here. See if that engine will run in it, because I got a guy that's interested in buying the flathead 6 in it. Oh, and the 51 F1, which is sitting at my mom's on a trailer. I need to get it here to get it ready for the swap meet in April. So yeah, I have like 8 million things to do. It's like, where do I start? Oh, I have a Speed Air twin pump 2-stage. I'll tell you, should I? Oh, no, I got a pump and stuff for this. Find a tank for it, Dancing. Those Speed Air twin pumps are nice. That's what that one is over there. My 80-gallon. That's a Speed Air pump. It's a 7-horse Dayton motor, I think. Yeah, it's a 7.5 horse. Sorry, that thing, it'll dim the lights a little bit when it kicks on. I have to have that converter box on it, or it's some kind of a starter box or something, because it draws so much amperage on start. And it's relatively quiet for its size too, which amazes me. This guy here, I heard it run. It used to be at our shop, and it was a relatively quiet pump for what it was. But this is not maybe 120, 130 max. Fine for my front garage. Yeah, you'd be surprised, dude. But you can get a lot of parts for these things still. I mean, one of the guys at work used to rebuild the pumps, as a hobby. He's since retired, so I don't know if he's still doing them or not. Real. They both make noise in hot air. Yep. That's true. Oh, Randall, it's not. It's cool. My channel's doing well because of you. See, I got to feature you on there just to nibble away, take some of that clout from your channel. That way, everyone knows mine still exists. That's why sometimes I miss your lives, because I'm out in the shop working, so I have to remember to turn them on while I'm working on Fridays. And that was one of the times I caught you. You had your show on that Friday. I was out in the shop working. I try to get them all. I try to. Oh, shoot. So what's everyone else doing? I probably should go in the house and clean the trim up on my headliner stuff. I still got to clean these guys up yet. They're a little... See inside. This is the worst one. It's kind of... It'll clean up a little bit. I'll look for some nicer pieces later, but I'll get it cleaned up enough to hold the headliner up anyways. This is the worst one of the bunch. Just like everything around here, it's just, we get so much rain and crap. Everything just rusts. See, I think this one's not as bad. Just that one piece. I got another one I parted out. The trim bits upstairs. I'll dig through that stuff later. It'll be good enough to hold it up. Just finished bench pressing the skid plate. What's the thing made out of? 1/4-inch steel? Is that snow really coming down now? You about ready to get buried in? Hey, what's going on, Tim? Oh, random live. Bryce and I were on. Well, Bryce had a live going and asked me to join him. We were working on his Morticia there for a little bit, and then I decided to fire up a live when his phone died. Damn near aftermarket. So what you're saying is you need a floor transmission jack to install your skid plate, or an adapter for your floor jack for transmissions for your skid plate. Is that what you're trying to say? Harbor Freight sells those. Ooh, starting to blizzard up. Uh-oh. Well, hope you got plenty of firewood. Is that what you used to heat as firewood, or you on gas or something like that? And bouncing on the floor jack. Yeah, that's using your cranium. I'd do that. Gas. Well, that's good. I was worried that, I'm on electric heat here, but I also have a fireplace because the power still goes out here. I mean, it happens not very often. The city's kind of. I used to be kind of considered outside city limits. More. What do you call that? I don't know. Not rural. I mean, I did have a bunch of farms on my street when I bought it, but we're slowly getting swallowed by the city, so I don't lose power as often as I used to. Yeah, how you doing up there, Tim? You staying nice and warm? You guys are about ready to get a slammer here pretty soon. At least with the gas, you can keep the pilot light lit and keep heat on. My mom's on gas, so I don't worry too much with her. Her furnace did go out a couple winters ago, and I had to run a bunch of firewood over there. She has a fireplace as well that hadn't been used in forever, but my dad was smart enough to, he kept it cleaned out and ready. It's cold as hell here. Are we below zero now? We've been in the 20s at night here on this side on the West Coast. Just during the day, it'll warm up to in the 40s, and then it'll drop back down to the 20s at night. We haven't gotten anything. It's so weird. Usually with those temperatures, we would have gotten snow by now, but nothing. And our buddies over there on the east side of the state are usually in snow right about now, and they're not getting nothing either. It's just crazy. I'm not going to complain though. All the ones sitting outside. The only thing that I get worried about with the cars outside is either if they're not drained out or if they don't have the right mixture and it cracks a block. That in itself would break my heart. If they got to drain them out or whatever, fine, or at least make sure the antifreeze is right. Oh, nothing would drive me up a wall than cracking a block because it's stupid cold. Unless the engine was garbage to begin with, I guess it wouldn't really matter. Yeah. Oh, that's probably smart. It normally doesn't get that cold where I'm at. I'm like in this warm spot in the state because we get all of the warm ocean air and it slams into the side of the Cascade Mountains and it stops. And then some of it gets over the mountains, but not much. But usually east of the Cascades is where it stays really cold. Well, to stay warm, Tim, is all I can tell you. Hunker down. See, that's the worst of it. When it gets cold here is one thing, but when it gets wet, then it feels miserably cold. Right now, I think it's 30, 28 degrees right now. It doesn't bother me that much, but when it's actually wet out, like it starts raining when it's that cold, or it actually snows, but then starts melting off. When it's wet, then it gets right into my bones. I hate that. This stuff isn't too bad. It's the dry cold doesn't bother me. Yeah, see, exactly. The wet cold is just terrible. How big is that garage? Is it attached to the house? I have a two-car attached to the house. Yeah, this is a detached shop. My house is actually in front a little ways. I thought of attaching it to the house, but I didn't really want the risk of getting any stink in the shop into the house. It shouldn't, but sometimes they do. This shop is a 32 by 36. So basically, I have three 12-foot bays that are 32 feet deep. It's a pole building, is essentially what it is. I have it finished like a stick built. So if you were to walk up to it from the outside, it looks just like a stick built building. It's T111, all that jazz. I wanted it to look like my house. My dad's shop was 28 feet deep. I went 32 because I wanted to be able to put a extended cab pickup in here and pull the engine without opening the door. That's one reason why I went a little bit deeper. I noticed in his shop that we always had to open the door when we had toolboxes lined up, stuff. And in order to pull the engine out of the car, we always had to open the door up and move the car backwards to get the engine out. So I went 32 feet. I almost kind of wished I would have built it even bigger and then just did a single door on the gable end, because all my doors are in the sidewall here. It's personal preference on how you build them, but I didn't want it attached to the house, and it's on its own meter as well too. So whatever electricity is being used in the house has no effect on the shop, vice versa. Internet problems, huh? You or me? Is it mine? It's a good place to be, Tim. Good place to be. 15 degrees here. It's snow flying. That's the only cruddy thing about the shop being separate from the house. It's the walk of cold. Or if I got to take a dump or something, I got to fight my way to the house. I don't have a bathroom out here. But generally, like I said, it's not. It rains here more than it snows, and it's only cold here. I mean, like miserably cold, 3 or 4 months out of the year. So I just put up with it, or I stay in the house. 24 by 24. That's not bad. That's essentially, I mean, a lot of the garages around here, attached garages were 24 by 24. I mean, unless you're doing some major work, which sounds like you just want to do some tinkering, that'd be just fine. I at first, before I started packing this place full of crap, 32 by 36 seemed huge. But if I had to build another shop over again and I had acreage, because my lot is double deep, so I'm only 90 feet wide, but I'm 180 feet deep. So my house is on the front part of the lot by the street. It's only 30 or 40 feet from the road. So I have like 90 feet from the back of my house, or 100 and some odd feet back here where my shop is. If I had more acreage and I built the shop differently, I would probably go way bigger. But I'd go big enough where I could drive in a single door and just turn and, go like that. I think is the way I would want to do it. Well, I mean, shit's not exactly cheap these days. I mean, yeah, see, 30 by 40 is a good size. That's essentially where I started with here was a 30 by 40 design. I just tweaked it a little bit. So mine's 32 by 36, so I just did a little tweak to it. It's a good size. But I mean, things aren't cheap like they used to be. So 24 by 24, I'm sure it won't be exactly the cheapest thing around, but it's something. Something's better than nothing. I would be happy with that, just having that there, Shoot, I don't even know if you thought about doing a container garage, if it would save you any money. Pole Barn Garage, his west place he's got now, I think it's in New Mexico. That's kind of what he built, using a couple containers. I don't know if that helps or hurts. It probably gives you storage and workspace with 2 containers and trusses. Might not work. I don't know. There you go. Yeah. So I thought about that too. If I ever did find some property, I thought about getting a couple containers and spanning some trusses over them just to give me somewhere to work. There was another guy that used to fix up big heavy equipment that had a shop like that. I'm trying to remember his name. He was a YouTuber. But that's how he built the shop, was he strung trusses across a couple. I think it was a double stack of containers. I just can't remember his name. Nope, I built it. That was when I bought this place. That was the reason why I bought it. It had a really deep, undeveloped backyard, and it had a really good side access. There's a lot of houses here that had a real deep backyard, but the side access was horrible. I wanted it wide enough I could bring my car trailer through, which I think, if I remember right, it's like 18 or 20 feet between my garage and the fence. So there's plenty of room to bring car trailer and shit through. But I wanted to have at least the size of shop like my dad had, which his was a 28 by 36. Which it's basically what I have here, but I'm a little bit deeper. So that's something I didn't like about his. I wanted to improve in mine. Me and a friend from work, or one of the guys I worked with, myself and his brother, built the stick frame. And then basically I hired those guys because I didn't know nothing about pole buildings. I hired those guys and I worked with them. I paid them, but I worked with them to help assemble the skeleton. So we had the posts, we put those up, framed it all in. I went ahead and did 30-year architectural comp roof on it instead of doing steel. Nowadays, it's probably cheaper doing it the other way around. Back then, it wasn't that big a difference. I wanted it to look like my house. That was my goal. So I had a lockable shell. This was probably 20 years ago for around 20 grand. I don't even know if that number comes close anymore. That was with no concrete. I poured the floor a little bit later. And that's one thing you want to do. Trust me, if you start putting shit in here before putting the concrete in, you'll probably never put the concrete in. So I made it a point. I had to go get a loan, another loan. Because I pulled money out of the house to put the shop up. But I had to get a loan to put the concrete in, which back then it was cheaper too. Concrete is outrageous right now. At least it is in my area. I don't know where it is, how it is in your area. 99 Projects has shipping container. Yeah. So there's quite a few people that have these shipping container shops. I tried getting my neighbor, because he has one shipping container already. I was trying to talk him into getting another one and spanning trusses across his, and he'd have a shop because he doesn't really have a whole lot of money. But it never came of. Let's see. Yeah, HOAs are painting. That was the other thing too. When I bought here, I made sure there was no HOAs. I didn't want to deal with any of that. Yeah, concrete is. See, even where you're at, it's expensive. It's ridiculous. I don't get it. When I had the shop floor poured, unfortunately, I knew a gentleman that had it. He had a big business, local business. He happened to be married to a gal that worked at the local concrete plant. So this shop floor was poured disgustingly cheaply. I got a killer deal on the floor. I will probably never be able to get a deal like that ever again. So I'm thankful I got the deal because he no longer does concrete anymore, and he's no longer married to that guy. Everything fell apart afterwards. But I got super lucky when this floor was poured. Otherwise, I probably would have to pay double what I paid. So I will count my blessings on that one. This floor was cheap. I got a really good deal on it. Right place at the right time. That's all it was. Permit nightmare? No. I didn't really have a big trouble with permits. They just wanted a design that was engineered. They're super stringent on the wind sheared snow load crap, which I'm like, we don't get snow here, and it isn't really that windy, so why are we worried about it? They were actually impressed because my, what do you call them? Are they purlins in the wall or purlins the ceiling? Most pole buildings have the 2x6s up this way in the walls. Mine are actually laid flat. So the shear on them is way more than necessary. And I wanted them this way so I could finish the inside of the building as well as do the sheeting on the outside. Because when you build a pole building, most times they're set in 2x6 like this and not sideways. So, and then each 2x6 going up the wall is blocked, one on top of another. So it's basically solid on each post, on the side of each post. The 2x6 is going up, it's a solid blocking. It's pretty stout. I didn't have any problems with permits at all. Yes. Yes. This stall right here, so where the lift is, I had them pour this entire stall, or at least the majority of it, 6 inches deep, yes. I didn't do the middle and the end one, which I kind of regret now, because if I ever want to add a lift, they're only 4 inches thick, but it is, there is mesh in it. But I wished I would have done the whole thing 6. That way I would have had the ability to put a lift in the other bays. Oh well. I put up the lift. Nobody else did. This lift here I bought used. It was going to be scrapped because it doesn't have, the arms don't lock this way, so it doesn't meet OSHA requirements. So it was essentially sold as scrap. This lift here is only rated for 7,000, so it's pretty light duty, anyways. But yes, I did have the floor in the stall here is 6 inches thick. Yes, absolutely. And these guys hand floated this floor. They did a killer job. I mean, I'm only mad at myself for not pouring the whole thing 6 inches. But even back then, I didn't have shit for money. And I had to scrape up the $3,500, which is dirt cheap. I know. That was also 20 years ago. I had to scrape that up to have it done. I had to go get a loan and have it. Off-grid rules are way different. What's different about this? Is there any rules at all? Oh, hey, what's going on, Chef? Man, you're probably out there freezing to death. You're part of that whole winter storm thing. How you guys holding up out there? So I'm really curious. What's the off-grid difference? Do they say anything at all, or are they super strict? Snowmageddon. Oh, that's good. Yeah, see, if I was further out into rural Clark County and rural, like Cowlitz County or whatever, and you're on acreage, they don't. The only reason why they'd want permits is to take money out of your pocket. And I don't think they ever bother anyone who doesn't. Because I'm essentially in the urban growth boundary. I'm not in the city, but I am. I'm close enough. They keep a watchful eye on us, so yeah. They definitely want to play by the rules. Yep. Labor's not cheap, man. 12,000. That's crazy. That's for an 18 by 10. Yeah, that seems a little bit much. Did you call around to get some other quotes by chance? Because man, that for an 18 by 10, that seems an awful lot. I think it should be like half that. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I know concrete is stupid expensive. But so is the labor too, and it's a little ridiculous. Oh, so really, you just have to have some kind of a janky septic system, huh? Well, I know when you're putting septic in around here, they're proud of it. They want all these I's dotted and T's crossed and this and that, and it's kind of crazy. I know there was a house in Ridgefield I was looking at buying 10 years ago, and the guy It was a 4-bedroom house, so he had to have like a system of certain size. I'm trying to remember what the number was. Ended up costing him, I think, 32,000 to have the septic system. Ridiculous. A bunch of plastic crap buried in the ground. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I don't know what kind of septic system they're expecting you to put in. Oh, 2 inches. That's not too bad. I mean, it's a start. You don't know when the stop's going to happen, but it's a start. You sure got pretty mouth. Well, there's parts of Colorado that may not be that bad. Might be cold and windy though. Yeah, Oregon's got some crazy permitting shit going on here. And it depends on, like Taco was saying, I think a lot of it depends on what county you're in and where you're living. There's some counties in Oregon that are a bit more forgiving. Multnomah County sucks. They're the worst. And they're like Clark County's becoming. It's just it's turned into a bunch of, and really all they're after is your money. They really don't give a crap what you're doing. They just want your money. uh, 18 inches in panic. No, it's not snowing here. We're just really cold here. I'm in Washington State, and no, we're kind of missing the show this time. Where are you at, TPP? 6 to 9 inches at Chef's Place. Wow, look at that! Such a difference just south of you there. Well, that's a good getaway from Life Spot. I mean, middle of nowhere, Colorado. You can't go wrong with that. Clackamas County, yeah. See, that's that's the county just south of Multnomah. There, that's Oregon City, Salem. Yeah, they're kind of yeah. I don't think they're as bad as Multnomah County, but again, populous. Oh, Milwaukee. Yep. Yeah, there's a gentleman that lives in the Milwaukee area. I got to go see. He's got a bunch of 55 and 6 Fairlane parts. I've been wanting to go over there and see what he's got. There's a guy off Redland Road that I've been going to. Um, he used to run Henry's Haulers Club. I'm trying to remember his name. Anyways, he's got a bunch of 56 and 55 and 6 Fairlane stuff. So I've been buying a lot of stuff out of his stash, but I think I'm getting most of the good stuff hauled out of there because I got to find another source. He's a cool dude. He's an old feller and he's super nice guy. He's very knowledgeable. I'll still go by and see him and see what he's got for things. But this other guy I met, he lives in the Milwaukee area. I got to find him. How did I decide? Um, well, I like a lot of us. I mean, I think I started watching YouTube around 2018, 2019, and there was a few channels I like to watch on a regular basis, and there was a lot of stuff out there, or there's a lot of channels out there, but not a lot of stuff covering what I do, which I don't know if you've thumbed through my stuff much, but you can see it's slanted a little heavily towards Ford, even though I do have a bunch of Mopar things up, which is fine. I mean, I like Mopar. I like them all. I'm more lenient or more lean towards Fords. I don't know. I just I like to teach people stuff. I like to share what I know. I kind of started the YouTube thing as more or less a catalog for my kids because none of them give a crap about this stuff right now. My son's kind of starting to show interest. My daughter, she could care less if this whole thing burned down. Um, but I figure once I'm gone, because I realized this when my dad passed away, which I wish I would have been doing YouTube videos if he was around. It would have been a hoot. But I decided to kind of just make videos for my kids to know what this crap was and what to do with it. And then I just started kind of showing people stuff. I'll get requests for certain things, and I don't know. Yeah, I started meeting a lot of guys. I met Bryce, and Chef was one of the new guys at the time, and I just started hanging out with some of these dudes on some of the lives, and I don't know. We all kind of formed a brotherhood of sorts. We just started making videos, and the live thing took me a little while. I'm not one that's usually. I don't like doing lives per se because I never can get nothing done. If I had someone reading your comments while I was doing work, I would probably be a lot happier about doing lives because I like to stay busy. But right now, I'm not getting anything done. But I like hanging out and talking with y'all. So it's kind of like I'm caught in that space where I really need to do some stuff, but I really like sitting here having a chat with y'all. So I don't know. We're just doing what we're doing. You just basically, like I tell a lot of people, turn the camera on, see where it takes you. You know, I always believe it's you that sells the channel. You know, Chef was basically a new guy right when I was starting, and his big claim to fame, which was interesting watching his video, he's had a huge lifelong project he's been working on. He inherited his dad's place, and it's been fun over the years watching Chef go through. It essentially is like taking a time machine back in time, going through his dad's stuff, and then he tells the story because there's always some story related to everything he's digging up. I'm using Chef as an example because you're here, but I can see that's a very easy way for him to start his channel. You know, is he's basically tearing open this gift of sorts, and it's an exploratory thing. You know, and at the same time, he's cleaning it up, making it super useful. If you were to see this place when he started, to compare it to it now, two completely different places. And of course, it ain't been without battles. He's fought a lot of battles, and it was really cool to kind of walk through all that. Now with me, you know, I don't have nothing fancy like that. I just have my junk that I play with. You know, I just like sharing a lot of stuff. I know there's a lot of people at the time when I started didn't have a lot of Ford content or old school stuff like 30s, 20s, 50s. A lot of it was 70s or Mustangs or newer stuff, and I don't mind that stuff. I'm into the older stuff. My genre of vehicle, if you were to say I was in a genre, is 70s. 70s hot rods, 70s street machines. Anything I build looks like it should have been in a magazine in the 70s. That's what I like. Or late 60s. You have a lot of guys that are in the traditional stuff, which is 50s and 60s, which is cool. But there's a lot of those guys. It just didn't seem like there's too many people in the street rod, street machine world. That's kind of where I was like, I want to try to fill that gap. Plus, show a lot of people how to do some of this stuff. I really want to see more people get involved in the car hobby. It's a great hobby. It's a great family hobby. You know? I'm missing some comments here. Let me back up a little bit. Yeah. Where'd my pointer go? Now, my family, my dad's family, is from the New England states. My last name is like Smith in Maine. That's where his family's from, is Maine. I think everywhere is kind of heading the California way. Here in Washington, I mean, we've been fighting this for 20 years because we're directly north of California. We used to joke that they'd take a pee stop in Portland. Some would stay, some would go to Seattle. The problem is they throw their trash out along the road all along the way. And I'm right on I-5, so we're getting the brunt of it too. It's 70 IQ. Get out of here dancing. Give yourself more credit than that. I'm a Smith. I had a good friend of mine. His name was Scott Smith. I haven't talked to him in a long time. We kind of went different ways. No, nothing bad, just life. Yeah, Chef has done an unsurmassive amount. I can't even think of the word. In the house, outside of the house, the garage, around the property. I mean, unbelievable transformation. It's an undertaking. I mean, if you were to see when he first started posting back in 2021, huge difference. And he had gone through a lot of crap, too. I guess my best advice is pick something that you're really into and just share it. Don't ever expect to be paid. I'm not paid on this thing, not even close. I don't think I ever will be. I hoped in the beginning it'd be a great idea, but I just have this weird feeling that YouTube doesn't want anyone to really be paid because then they have to pay money and they lose it. I do this more for just to help people out, give my kids some kind of catalog as to what the hell's going on around here. I'm hoping that later in their life, maybe they take an interest in it. I always want to make sure that even if it's too late, I'm dead, they at least have something to go by. Your grandpa, oh, so he moved from Tennessee to California. What's wrong with him? Well, California, I think back then, Taco, was a much better place. It's gone definitely downhill since at least the 70s. Yeah, your parents had a lot of stuff. But it's cool because everything told a story. And even though you weren't keeping a lot of it, you could at least tell the story and explain things. And it was kind of, in a way, it was kind of like a history lesson. Two generations from hillbilly. But TPP, you still here? I mean, what kind of things are you interested in? I mean, what's you got like a certain genre thing you like doing? I mean, you like doing Fox body stuff. You like doing mid '60s Chevys or whatever you're into. Do that. Do whatever you love. Put it on film. Post it up. See where it goes. I mean, it took a little while for me to get on camera. I mean, I think we're like that because you're talking to nobody in theatrics. I'm talking to a screen, but I'm not. I'm talking to people. It takes a little while to get comfortable with that. And I'm pretty sure I looked like an idiot for a few times I was on. I know I looked like an idiot because I edited a lot of those videos, but that's besides the point. I had a YouTube back as far back as 2015, I think. It might have been sooner than that because I think YouTube was just a place to dump videos at the time. But I just never. I bought one of the first versions of the GoPro. I think it was a Hero Plus. I just never got into. Well, I remember what it was because I knew I had to do video editing. I never had a computer powerful enough to do a video editing program. So it took a little while. I wished I had gotten into it when I got the camera instead of waiting 5 years, because then my dad would have been in a lot of them, and he was a very interesting fellow to follow around with a camera. It might have made for some good entertainment, but unfortunately, I didn't start really getting into it until after he passed. Yeah, see, that's the kind of stuff there, Chef's talking about. A lot of little rare items that the old world had stashed away, and it's like a treasure hunt. He's going through all this stuff and finding these interesting things, and it's kind of cool. I watch as many of them as I can. It's hard to catch everybody's channel. I'll go on a little binge here and there. Look like you need it. Oh no. That's personal opinion. You let the viewers decide that one. Sometimes idiots are entertaining. We got Chaz. Oh yeah, yeah. You're gonna wake up to some snow in the morning for sure. Hey man, anytime. I don't mind. You got some questions about stuff, or you're curious about things. Me or any one of these guys in chat, I'm sure would be more than happy to answer anything. My best advice is start the camera, hit record, and go for it. And see where it takes you. It's always a slow, rough start, but it will pick up. You just got to get out there and start throwing. Right when I started, they didn't have shorts. Shorts is the easiest way to get noticed now. There were no such thing as shorts when I started doing this, or when Chef and I were started. Hell, most of these guys here, when we started, the shorts were not a thing. But that's an easy way to get noticed. It's just doing little 1 and 2 minute videos. Well, see, that's the idea. It's kind of, at least that's the way I like to run my lives, is just a BS session. Just chill and questions away. Just a hangout. Because a lot of people don't do this stuff anymore. Kind of miss, at least all my generation. Most of these kids just want to play computer games all the time. But no, that's cool. Anytime. I don't do enough lives like I should. But like I said, I'm usually working, and it's hard for me to do a live and work because I have to stop and read the screen. If I had someone to read them for me as I'm working. But I do these, and then Bryce and I do a game show once a month, which should be next week. We do a little trivia game show. So if you know about Bryce's channel, he is Ice Spider Garage. Check us out next Friday. It'll be 6. So it'll be 9 o'clock your time Friday. Should be next Friday, I think. Right? 4th, 5th, 4th February. Coming soon. Check it out. And it's a great place to advertise your channel. Bryce is like, hey, come on in. Tell the world about your channel, Well, they're always a hit and miss, Chef. I can't explain what's good and what's bad. Some shorts do great, some shorts are tank. Nice. So there you go, Is your father still around, I assume? That would be cool if you did kind of like father son on the video wrench thing. I mean, if he's not around, my dad, he passed away a few years ago. In honesty, I look to YouTube as somewhere to go with this hobby because that's what my dad and I did do. And with him gone, I kind of felt a little empty. I was almost to the point where I was going to get out of this stuff because that's all him and I did was the wrenches. So YouTube was kind of like where I turned to continue on because I was ready to hang it up. Once he was gone, I was done. No, I didn't really have many friends around the area that did the stuff that I did, you know. And it was, you start feeling a little alone when your swap meet buddy ain't there with you, or your wrecking yard buddy isn't there with you. That's all my dad and I did. Every junkyard within an hour's drive, hour or two's drive, we'd be in. Every swap meet within a couple hour drive, we'd go to. And everywhere anything car related, him and I did. When he passed away, it kind of carved a hole in my chest. I didn't know how to recover from that. So I tried this YouTube thing. It seems to be working pretty good. It's been nice having y'all to share with, have these lives, talk to, and make my stupid videos and show off to. Because the guys around here that I know that do the car thing, they're all right. A lot of them aren't builders, though. So it's hard to relate to a guy that's not a builder. Yeah, I hear you, Chef. I still got to go over and work on his crap, and it makes me a little upset that I have to. Well, I don't have to, but I go over there and work on his stuff, and I wished I would have just done it with him. Yeah, same here, man. The one thing I can say about the YouTube car groups, the car community anyways, really does have a bunch of really cool guys. I mean, I don't think I've really met anybody bad within the YouTube car community. Everyone's been pretty cool. I mean, obviously everyone has their own tastes and everything else. Not everyone's, some people have really bad tastes like Chaz, but I'm just kidding, bud. Yeah, the live stream might be a little bit off. It could be a delay for different reasons. It might be my own setup. It could be the internet in the storm. I don't know. Oh, yeah. And that's super possible. Yes. Yeah, the chat could be definitely slower than. That's why sometimes I got to wait a little bit before I answer. But no, I think when I do this stuff, this YouTube thing, I try to treat it as if we're all hanging out, we're all at this car show, or we're all at this event. We're all just sitting around having a cool. Which there are a couple events they do that are for the YouTube car group guys. One of them's the No Name Nationals. Those guys in their Hemis. Well, you got to have that redheaded stepchild in every group. It's all right. We'll still accept you. But the No Name Nationals is a really cool event that is focused on the YouTube car community. And then they have like duct tape drags. And there's a couple other events that some other YouTubers are putting on. I think Vice Grip's doing this Cars and Coffee thing at his new shop he's got, his museum. So there's things popping up that, we'll be able to hang out in person and stuff. But the No Name Nationals has been a big one. I haven't been to it yet. Eventually I want to go to it. Because there's a lot of good guys that go to that event too. There's a few guys that haven't been on here tonight yet that you'll have to meet. Bear Rose is another super cool guy. I'm blanking out on names. There's Wood Metal Garage and Robert's Garage. I'm blanking out here. 615. There's so many different people in the car community. I thought about it because there's really nothing out on the West Coast. What was really crazy? My friend of mine at work, he's a car guy too. He's not super much a builder, but he's into the car thing. He likes the lowrider scene and whatnot. We ended up starting up a cruise that used to happen, more him than me. They used to have a cruise called Cruising the Gut through the middle of town here. And this was long before YouTube. What we did is we just set a date and made a shit ton of flyers. And we went to all the car shows, throwing these flyers in the cars. A lot of people probably don't like that, but you got to do what you got to do. We even went to a few meetings of local car clubs and just had to put a ton of footwork in to get that event going. We were thinking maybe 30 cars would show up that first year. I'm trying to remember, we didn't have T-shirts. We talked to some of the businesses on Main Street to see if they wanted to donate. Most of us laughed at us. But there was a handful of them that didn't. And they threw in money. Cruising the Gut and Salem got banned. Oh, God. Well, the one we had here in Vancouver didn't necessarily get banned. They got greedy. And long story short, we ran it for several years and it turned into a great success. But they started harassing Phil to the point where he didn't want to do it anymore. So the city ran him out of the event. And I don't think it's been the same since. But a Cars and Coffee thing, we've got 2 or 3 of them here in town. I don't know. I think just advertising it. It's about the best way you can do is keep advertising it, get a bunch of your buddies just to show up, and eventually it'll start blossoming. Right now is not a good time, but once it starts drying out a little and warming up. Father's still alive but retired. Oh, good. I'll tell you what, dude. So I lost my dad at 71. Treasure the time. Get it in while you can. I hope he lives to see 90. Nobody can tell. But I'll tell you what. I ended up getting out of the service early, and I'm kind of glad I did because I got to spend more time with him that I probably wouldn't have had I stayed in my full 20. So, I mean, I wished I stayed in for my full 20 and retired out of the service, but I gave up one for the other. And I'm glad I did what I did. I regret it, but I'm glad. I would have really liked to have had that retirement, but oh well. I got to spend the time with my old man, and I think that was our best years was when I came back and we got into the car thing. That's when I bought the house and built the shop. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. Take advantage of that. Shoot video of that. That might be one of your best things is going out on these adventures with your dad or just going over for a wrench fest. Shoot that, throw it up on video, Make it I know the how-to stuff, if you're doing a little project and you want to show people how you do this certain process or whatever, throw it on video, Oh, have a good night, buddy. I just now seen that. Taco, thanks for showing up, dude. Appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Oh, were they acting like jackasses? The ones in Billings? Because we got one here at Van Mall. There's actually 3 Cars and Coffee groups here in Vancouver. There's one on the east side, one in the Salmon Creek area, and then one right here I live by Van Mall. And the Van Mall one's huge. And those guys seem to do a pretty darn good job about keeping the riffraff from screwing it up for everybody else. Yeah, see? Yeah, that's the hard. You got to be the bad guy, I guess, and get the group to police these guys out. Because they will. They'll ruin every event possible. And I don't get it. It's just supposed to be a hangout, chatting with a bunch of other gearheads and shit and getting to meet and network. And it's not a dick waving contest. I don't understand that. I mean, and it's not just the Mustang guys, even though some of them guys are idiots. I don't get it. I enjoyed my time in the service. I wished I would have stayed in and completed the 20. I liked the job I had. I don't know. At the time, I was thinking the grass was greener on the other side. It's because it's fertilizer horse shit. I don't know. Like I said, it worked out for the better anyways. I went in because I wanted to go in. Nobody forced me. I didn't get any signing bonus. I didn't get nothing. But I liked my job. I was a C-130, well, turboprop, turbo shafts. I worked in helicopters too. I built engines for the helicopters, and I did the kit assemblies, the nacelle assemblies on the C-130s, flight line maintenance. It was a good job. I liked it. Kids are dumb. Yeah, kids are dumb, but you gotta grab them by the neck anyways when the cameras and phones aren't looking. Slap them around a little bit. Say, look, Junior, this is how we do things. Yeah. What's really cool, I got a kid that lives across the street from me. His mom, uh, single mom with two boys, and the one kid when I first met him, I mean, he wasn't very mechanical. He come over and one day he goes, "Hey, I can't get my Forerunner to start. You take a look at it." And it was something simple, and loose connection on his battery. And anyways, he'd come over and ask for borrow tools and ask questions and borrow tools and ask questions. And I go over there a couple times and see what he's up to. And he's over there tinkering and tinkering around. And you just got to give these kids an opportunity. I mean, this kid over here, he's straight axled his A-armed Toyota. He's in the middle of doing an engine swap in it, going from a 3.0 liter to something else. And I mean, and he started off not knowing anything. So there's still kids out there that are interested in this stuff. They're just interested in different vehicles than I am. But I don't mind helping him. He's a good kid. Smart as a cookie, man. I'm telling you. Not too many kids I know of that have figured all this stuff out on their own. So I'm pretty impressed. Dancing. My dad served 67, 73. Oh, yes. Oh, thank your dad for his service. My dad was prior service. My mom was prior service. My Uncle Mike, my Uncle Jack, my grandfather. I got a whole family lineage. My dad was in Vietnam, 69 to 70. My grandfather was 67, 68 Vietnam. He was in World War II, Vietnam, and Korea, my grandfather. My dad's dad. My mom was in the Navy. My Uncle Mike was in the Army. My Uncle Frank was in the Army. My grandfather was Air Force. My dad was a Marine. I was Air Force. So yeah, we got a lot of military in our family. Oh, 68, 73. Yeah, those were the ugly years. Anything after the Tet Offensive was just that. He never talked about it much. When he got older, I asked him a little bit about it. I think he was, I don't know, he was a little intrigued that I had interest in it. I don't know, it was mainly just asking him questions. I showed him some maps. And, yeah, you bet. It was my honor. I chose to serve. I wanted to serve. I had no better idea going on at the time. I thought, why not? Travel the world, they say. I didn't get much far out of the country. But no, my dad never really spoke much of Vietnam at all. It was funny how there's a lot of things he can't remember, but I was staring at a map. I think I called him one night on the phone, and I was just talking to him. I had the map in front of me, and he's not very computer savvy, so I know he wasn't looking at anything. But we were talking about some of the things he'd done, and I was looking at the map. I told him I was looking at a map and how it was written out. He was kind of teaching me how to read it. He was sitting here, I know from his own mind, describing this map as if it was staring right in front of him. Like it was yesterday. It was so weird. And it just makes you wonder what the hell was going on over there that made such an impression. But he was definitely remembering stuff that I didn't think one would ever remember. Chef, you're not dumb. Jeez. You're a different kind of smart. That's all it is. Hey, Korea wasn't exactly an easy jaunt either. That was kind of a weird war. Tried to go on. They didn't want you. Well, yeah. Hey, at least you gave it a shot. There was a guy I worked with that was he was close to my dad's age. He really wanted to go in, I guess, at the time, and he was denied. So sad that he was always so sad that he couldn't go in. I'll tell you what, he was probably one of the most supportive guys you've ever met. If it was anything related to the GIs or any veteran or anything, man, he was all over the top of it. I was like, I appreciated that. I appreciated that more than anything. He couldn't be one, but he supported him just uncannily. So, hey JB, how's it going, brother? Man, it's late over there. You're up late tonight. Your dad wasn't allowed to talk about it, huh? I think when you get old, you don't give a shit anymore and you talk anyways. They weren't looking for that. Yeah, that's true. They probably weren't looking for it, but they might find it some that've been there a while. Yeah, I do. I support our guys 100% too. My son, he's in the Army right now. I tried telling him not to go in the Army, but he wouldn't listen, so whatever. But he's an E5. Not that I'm trying to bang on the Army guys. Just like Army's not what it used to be. Let me put it that way. My father was a Marine, but he retired out Army Reserve because they didn't have a reserve unit nearby here for the Marine Corps, so he switched from Marine Corps to Army to complete his 20. Anyways, yeah, the Army nowadays is not what it used to be. So I was a little saddened by that. But he's doing all right. He's he's E6, I think, or getting ready to put on E6. Got his own boys and his own troops. He's stationed in Hawaii right now. He's a Cav Scout, which I didn't realize this, but they're going to be dissolving the Cav Scouts. Can you believe that? The Army with no cavalry scouts. What the frick are they thinking? All these stupid drones now, I guess, do the job. Oh, yeah, that's no way to do that, Chef. Jeez. Oh man, that sucks. Yeah, I pretty much that did your enlistment in right there. Oh, JB, I'm not going to give you any crap. I just screwed up on your motors the other night. I forgot you were building that V6 for the other rig. For some reason, I was thinking it was for the trash truck. You're building V6s. I can't give you any crap. You're taking your own crap alone. Little secret known is I do the Ford V6s too, the 2.8, 2.9s. I'm kind of into those. I got one hidden underneath there. How's that V6 coming? I haven't seen a live lately. You just about getting her all buttoned up. Ah, classified until 2012. That's it. Hey, that fucking truck, man, it moves out pretty good for what it is. I'll give you that. Uh, that thing's no slouch. Especially this last go around at No Name. Yeah, yeah, I think we all are, but I think you guys are getting the worst of it right now. I don't know how much you're going to be getting some of the cold, but I don't think you're going to get any snow, are you? Or is Tennessee getting nailed pretty good? Yeah, I had a when I was in the military, I was stationed in Albuquerque. I had a 78 Cobra 2 Mustang with a 2.8 liter V6. And it was the earlier 2.8, 74, where it didn't have the exhaust crossover in it, and it ran a Holly 2 barrel. Well, I put an adapter on it to run a Holly 2 barrel instead of that Weber. With 355 posi in the back, that thing would shit and get. Those little 2.9s, you get them running just right, man. They're impressive. Or, I'm sorry, 2.8, not 2.9, 2.8s. Ooh, freezing rain. Oh, God. See, now that's the kind of weather we usually get here. We don't usually get, where I'm at in the valley, we don't get a whole lot of snow. The damn freezing rain. Oh, that stuff is just shit. Because you can't see it coming. I mean, you be cruising along, minding your own business, and next thing you know, you're ass to headlight swapping places, and out of nowhere, you know. Yeah, the freezing rain's terrible. And that's what happens. Is sometimes we'll get a snow, and then we'll throw the freezing rain right on top. And then you're just stuck. You ain't going anywhere. Uh-oh. Chaz is getting hammered now. Yeah, I'll tell you what, JB, that 2.8, at least the 2.8 I had in my little Cobra car, it was a solid lifter engine. It was a 60-degree miniature version of an FE Ford. I swear to God, the way that thing was built. And it would wind up. I mean, I could punch that thing straight through the floorboard. Had no problem, 6,000, 7,000 RPM stock. It would run. And if you could just get the thing to make some power, RPMs it would take. But it just, yeah, that one there, I'm trying to remember. That was a junkyard engine I had in it. But I've been doing a little bit of homework trying to figure out how to make one of those run. Crazy thing is, Mummert's Machine Works, which Mummert's is famous for doing live block stuff. John Mummert has been playing around with these 2.8s, the Fords, and he's doing all this crazy machine work, and I think he's got some kind of a stroker kit figured out using a Honda piston and some rods. Anyways, he's got a little series on his YouTube channel. I've been following it pretty close, and he's gone as far as doing a little bit of port work to the head, some valve work, really putting some time in on making this little 2.8 run. And I guess he's doing this because it's going into I think it's some kind of English sports car. I can't remember what it was. That might be an MG, but I don't think so. Anyways, they're building this little 2.8 liter up to go in this sports car. So I was kind of wondering why the heck he would spend so much time on it. But apparently, the 2.8 liter V6 Ford is a popular swap into these cars. So it's been kind of fun following it because he's really putting a lot of light on how much potential that 2.8 has. And I think the Chevys are the same way. Because, I mean, the Buick V6 is hot, and it ain't that much different than the 2.8s. And those Buick V6s could run. They could really run. What's my regular job? I work for the shitty of Vancouver. When I say shitty, I mean shitty. I'm a road worker. I work in the road crew. I've been there a long time. Yes. Solid lifter, man. Solid lifter is why that thing probably rips. And it does. It's a little bit noisy on the morning starts, but it isn't actually that bad. Yeah, the trans is going to be your weak point, I think. The engine's starting to make some pretty good power. I'm going to have to do a little research alongside what you're doing just to see if there's a different head combination you could probably run on that thing to really get her to breathe. I know with the Fords, They came out with basically the emissions down version of the 2.8 in 75, but in 74, it was a 1 year only head for the 74 Ford 2.8. And that head, the passageways, everything was a lot straighter and better, in my opinion. In 75, they came out with the head that has the exhaust crossover in it and emissions and all that crap. That's the head that Mummert's playing with, but the 74 head, I think, is a way better candidate. I wonder if the 2.8 Chevy is the same situation. If they might have an earlier head that could definitely be a huge benefit in flow. Oh, you're going to try some more boost. All right. Well, that transmission's getting ready to take a trip. Yeah, it's definitely the shitty. I'll be honest with you. When I started there 22 years ago, it was a great place to work. It was competitive wage-wise. Benefits are great. But since then, dog shit. All the benefits are gone. I got to pay out the nose for that stuff now. The pay has not kept pace. Everyone in the fucking ivory tower downtown's gotten mega raises. Not us maintenance monkeys. We ain't got nothing but scraps that are scooted under the door the mice chew on. About all we've got. So, yeah. Not real happy. If I was to spend 20 years somewhere, it wouldn't have been this place. Oh, well. What do you do now? You sit and suffer at this point. I work at not working. Well, I want to be there at some point, too. Eventually, I'll get there. Hopefully, I don't die before I get there, though. The 3.0 Ford. The 3.0 kind of mimics the small block, doesn't it? I know they had the dual overcam 3.0. Oh, that's right, the 3.0 EcoBoost. Yeah, because the 3.0 has a similar bell housing to the small block Ford, doesn't it? If I remember right. I do remember seeing some aftermarket rocker setups and stuff for those too. Yeah, corporate gets their cut all right. Check this out. So we cussed and cursed and played their games and turned their contracts down 3 times, only to find most of the body caved at 4.5%. And oh my God, they sounded like we were squeezing the dead whale. Oh, we don't have that money. And then 2 months later, they gave all the white shirts downtown, every freaking one of them, 10 to 20%. Or, I'm sorry, 10 to 15%. Can you freaking believe that? Yeah. Like I said, had I known better then than I know now, I'm too far in, too old, too fat to change now, unfortunately. And I've only been fat a few years. This is what 40 does to you. Ah, I see. What? There was a motor. Oh, it was a 3.8. The 3.8 Chef. That's the one that's got the same bell as the small block Ford. That's right. That's the one I saw the rocker arms for, and a couple of performance intakes was that 3.8 liter. That's what it was. I knew I remember. I don't know about the 3.0. I'm not sure about that one. I know a friend of mine had one in his Ranger and he hated it. My son's got a 4.0 in his 92, which is the similar engine family as the 2829. That 4 liter freaking rips, dude. For being naturally aspirated, that 4 liter moves out nice. I would look at doing a 4 liter over maybe a 3.0, just because. Now it ain't good on gas. It loves to drink the fucking gas, but I'll tell you what, the 4-liter rips. At least there's 2 years. I think there was my ex-wife had a 2001 Explorer. That thing did nothing but shit head gaskets and crack heads. But I think it's like the 90 to 92. That 2-year range there was like the ultimate 4-liter. Then after that, they went to these hybrid rocker arms and the shitty cylinder heads, and it's like just like Ford to take a really good idea and screw it all up with better ideas. So that sounds about right. But his being a 92 was the last of the really good one, the first gen 4.0. Yeah. Started a weight loss journey over a year ago. Yeah, I was doing good. Oh, I was doing good up until my dad died. I mean, I think since my dad died, I think I went about a year, and then for like the next 5 years, I gained 60 to 70 pounds. I know it was a lot of me not sleeping, eating late, not eating when I should, and I stopped exercising because I was now working at my mom's a lot. Now I've tapered back a little bit. Just everything over there is fairly under control. I got her car restored, which is one of my biggest things I wanted done. And I was doing my day job, plus I was spending 3 to 4 hours a night, every night over there to finish her car, her 55. And since that's been done, I've been slowing down a little bit. So I did it to myself. I have to reverse this mess. Hey, watch it, Rail. Well, you know that whole advertisement Ford always did. Ford has a better idea. Well, I'll get mad and say, well, why didn't they use it? Because some of the dumb shit they do. And a lot of it is, and here's what I heard. I don't understand how this works, but apparently Henry Ford, or maybe it was Edsel Ford, but I think mostly it was Henry Ford, used to give his engineers bonuses for coming up with new ideas. And it was like, they were coming up with so many ideas, they kept making all these changes, which is why we have all these problems with all these friggin' parts that, you know, like Ford just can't have one pulley setup. They had to have 3 different pulley setups on a small block Ford. Or they're only from this year range to this year range, and there was a change. Or we can't run the power steering pump by itself. Let's rope it around the damn water pump. Yeah, that's a great idea. No, it's not. Let's put the alternator by itself. Why didn't you just leave it with the water pump? Yeah. No, there's a lot of things I don't agree with. I just put up with them because, and that would be the other reason why I started my channel, is to share this information with everybody. I know these pulley combos in my head. Driver returns on foot. Oh, boy, here we go. Fucking on-road destroyer. Yeah, then we have the Edsel. I don't know. They said they went and sent people out these packages, and they were supposed to decide what they wanted, what they thought a new car should be, and that Ford was going to design this new car from everything people were sending them back in these information packets. What the hell of information packet did they collect? Were they drunk or something? I mean, this couldn't possibly be what the public wanted. I just don't understand it. How do you go from the 57 Ford and the 57 Bel Air, hell, even the 57 Plymouth, to an Edsel? I mean, the front of it looks like a twat. I mean, why the hell would you think that was a good idea? I never understood that. Don't get me wrong, it's unique. But still, it's like, why? I never understood that. Ford changes Ford changes a lot of things way too often. 3 different firing. No, there's only 2 different firing orders. You just slow down there, Chaz. There's only 2 firing orders on the small block. HO and non-HO. Get out of here. HO is the same as 351 Windsor. And if you look at the firing orders of all the other engines, there's only 2 firing orders for any of the engines. 460 is the same as 289. FE's same as 289. The HO and the 351 and the Cleveland, I think, are all the same. Yeah, there's only 2 firing orders I'm aware of. Now, the Y block's different. The Y block is an animal of its own. It has its own firing order. Friggin' distributors on the wrong end. That is a bastard child in itself, which I love. I like my Y blocks. But they are certainly an animal of their own cause. So, technically, yes, there's 3 Ford firing orders. Mr. Chaz. You got me on that one. Okay, yeah, it was probably Henry then. Dual plug 460. They tried to get it to go through before it scrapped. Oh, was it because it couldn't meet the emissions? Because the emissions is what killed a lot of the projects that they were doing. Yeah, no, I hear you, JB. And you know what's funny is the mod motor makes its power and everything, but it was way too expensive to produce. Now they went with the Godzilla. They went back to a pushrod engine. I don't see there was anything wrong with a pushrod engine to begin with. I get it. The camera made big numbers on the super track speedways, but I guess the mod motor did really well, but it's a more expensive engine to build. One 1-843-6572. Now, you know what's funny, Chaz? If you take, I can't remember which one it is. It was either the HO or the standard. Obviously, there's only 2 choices. I want to say it was the standard 289 firing order. If you renumbered the cylinders as if they were a layout of a Chevrolet, it'd be the same as small block Chevy firing order. I think it was the regular 289 firing order. Because the only difference between the 289 and 302, I'm trying to think, that they swapped sides with the cylinders that were firing. So what they did, JV, and this might actually be the HO firing orders the same as small block Chevy. So what they did with the HO, and the reason why I call it the HO, is instead of 1546372, they changed it to 13754. Yeah. Instead it goes 137 instead of 154. So they just changed the firing order on the HO is all they did. So the 351 Windsor was born with the HO firing order. So all they did was take a 351 Windsor cam and put it in a 289 and called it an HO. Call it high output. Now, maybe they boosted the compression ratio up a little bit. Probably threw a 4-barrel on the thing. Because I know the 351 Windsor HO had a 4-barrel on it. And they had a 2-barrel version as well. So when they say 302 HO, all they're meaning is 351 firing order 302. That's all it is. So if you have an HO 302, do not use the 289 firing order on it. It will not work. It's got a 351 Windsor cam in it. I love the Windsors. They're great engines. They really are. Well, I mean, that's how I got into Fords. My dad was a Ford man. I wandered off into Mopar. I work on my buddy's GM stuff. My thought was everybody knows GM. So if I needed a question answered or I needed advice, I call up JB. I call up half a dozen guys here in town that know Chevrolet stuff. I don't need to know Chevrolet. But how many people do you know Ford stuff? So that's kind of like I just stuck with what the old man was doing. Even Mopar's kind of like on its little weird island too, but there's a lot of Mopar guys now. So I just stuck with Ford, and Ford makes sense to me. Yeah, I mean, like we were saying earlier, their labeling's kind of retarded. Once you see what they're doing and what engines relate, I mean, really stupid ass things like the distributors. I don't see how you couldn't have engineered the freaking engines to all take the same damn distributor. They're really not that much different between each other. One's a little longer, one's got one gear size a little different. It almost irritates the shit out of me the way they did the distributors. You could have gotten away with one distributor for big block and one distributor for small block if they wanted to take the time. But I really think that the engineering departments were just doing this the whole time. And I think Henry Ford liked it that way. I don't know. That's all I can imagine. Or Edsel Ford, I should say. Oh, God, the Boss 302. Let's not get into that. Good engine with good intentions. But, yeah, that was another menagerie of parts. Conceived in a 1970. So you were born in it. Yeah, you definitely have to get a Mopar guy because there is a lot of idiosyncrasies of Mopar stuff. I don't even know. I mean, I got dabbled in the small block world, in the A body world, and it gave me headaches. You know, there's a lot of weird stuff. Super cool guys. I've never met a Mopar guy I didn't like. They're all really nice, helpful guys, but they're really geeky too. These guys are into this stuff, which is great because it means there's a lot to learn. But most Mopar guys are like really into Mopars. But it's always a good experience. I'll tell you what, you never go away not knowing less than what you did. You definitely know more. Yeah, and that was the thing with GM. Is GM was super interchangeable. You know, that's what made them popular. I never went that far. I never got a Ford tattoo. Sorry. I love my Fords, but I ain't going that far. Oh, hey, no problem, Chaz. You guys have got your snowstorm thing. Stay safe, stay warm, brother. Hopefully this thing blows through and everything comes out all right. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on anyways. Obviously, I ain't getting much done tonight. Ooh, Boss heads, yes. Those about 10 years ago were getting a real premium. Now, I don't know, they're becoming a little more reasonable now, price-wise. I don't know if many people are into the Boss shit like they once were. Yeah, Birdsong, he knows his Mopar stuff. Jesus, yeah. Two Pontiacs. Yeah, he does. I don't have any tats either. I was too busy spending money on car parts. I figure if I had to pay for tattoos, that cut into my car budget. So, camshaft, tattoo, we're getting a cam. Holy Christ, a 454? Whose S10 is this? Is this something I missed, JB? Might have to go back and do some searching. Is it gonna fit? Freaking small block Chevy's already tight enough. Okay. Trade work. Yeah, that works. It's in the background. Okay. I'm gonna have to go spy over there in a minute. See what you got going on. I saw Lars had a live video running. I watched for a little bit. He was farting around the tire machine, putting tires on his car or something. I've been waiting to see updates on his 351 Windsor build. See how that's coming. Hey, big enough hammer and a set of torches, anything will fit. Yeah. Well, in not only that, Chef, that intake was a one-off to those heads. And like you said, with these new heads, you can run just regular Windsor intake. But I mean, a lot of guys, I like the look of the cleaver setups. So, I would do it for nostalgic purposes. There's a guy that's got a track boss intake on Marketplace right now. He wants $500 for it. I'm like, yeah, too much cheddar for me. That boy ain't working in it. He's got a thing here. Get that boy to work, damn it. He says it's cold. That's what you got that beard for. Warm him up. Nah, this is definitely not the time of the year. Unless you got a heated shop, that was one of the things I battled to have, because up here it sucks. Normally it's wet, rainy, cold, nasty. I don't care if I don't have any furniture in my house. I'm building a shop. I go without curtains. I go without, well, I have to have a refrigerator, but I don't need any furniture. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of common factors between the LS and the small block Fords. Oh, you keep fussing at him. Get that boy working. Heat up a cattle prod, poke it in his ass, get him moving. You got to get that thing done. It ain't going to get done by itself. It ain't going to fix itself, right? I like Lars. He's a kick in the pants. But I mean, you talk about the mod motor, but then here you are with the LS. We're back to push rod here, and the thing makes gobs of power with the push rods. We don't need to go with the red cam stuff. Push rods work. I've seen some people putting the LS heads on small block Fords. I haven't seen anyone running this shit, though. I mean, like putting it in a car and running it. I haven't seen that happen. I've seen guys bolting them on or doing whatever the hell they're doing. I've never seen one run that yet. There was a Hot Rod Guy Garage was building one or started to build one. Then there was another channel before him that was doing one I caught wind of. And I don't remember ever hearing that one run. No, come on. You got to be joshing me on that one. Chevy bought the rights. Come on. Ford can't be that stupid. Now, I guarantee these companies are spying each other like on an hourly basis. I mean, look at the cars as they go through the 50s and 60s and how many shared ideas between them. I mean, you look at a shoebox Nova, it's built like a damn Ford. I mean, you look at the mid-50s Chevys and the mid-50s Fords. They're almost built identical. Well, good for them. At least they did put their own twist on it, not just copy it. Oh, I totally agree. I mean, here's the first problem with the LS. It has to be injected. If you can carburate it, great, but I don't think you get the kind of power out of it. Carburetors do that dumbass injection. I don't see anything wrong with a smaller big block, period. Those things built mountains of power for like next to nothing, dollar-wise. It's just conspiracy. Well, hey, I'll tell you, over the years, like I said, there's been a lot of spying going on. And I just know the Siamese ports, they reach a limit, and that's where they stop. So they have to come up with a different design. I mean, the big block's not Siamese for a reason. That might be part of it. I don't know. But then I'll tell you right now, Ford's heads have been the biggest boondoggle piece of shit over the years. You put any Ford cylinder head on anything, it's going to be like ass. If Ford actually built their cylinder heads like GM built theirs, the small block Ford would probably kick the shit out of small block Chevrolet in stock form. I'm just going to say it. The Ford heads are so horrible. They flow like crap until you open them up. You look at a set of Chevrolet, even Chevrolet's worst cylinder heads, still had decent ports in them and decent valves. Oh, well, isn't that ironic? A front plate like a 302, and a distributor like a 302. Weird. I always thought GM, though, kind of screwed up on their bottom end. They always ran them a little, well, they wanted to keep a compact unit, but their journal sizes were a little small. The bottom end was a little bit smaller. That was probably the weak point of the early small block Chevys. You start spinning them and making power with them, they'll blow the crank out of them. So if you took like the design aspect Ford used in their bottom ends and put that into Chevrolet, it probably would have held together even better. So if these two would have like gotten together and built one damned engine, it probably would have been an indestructible. I'll tell you, I mean, I haven't seen a GM head yet that hasn't been able to decently flow compared to a stock Ford head, which I don't. You couldn't point me even Ford 460 heads flow like absolute shit. I mean, it's terrible. See, that's the thing. I could take my 289 out of this Ranchero. I could put my foot through the floor to 7,500 RPM, stock bottom in. It'll stay together. No problem. No problem at all. Every one of these friggin' small block Windsors won't blow apart. But they cannot flow enough air through the damn heads because the heads are horrible, which is where GM excelled. I don't know if too many GM heads that didn't flow at something. I mean, this car here, my C cab, has a fake 327 in it. It's a 79 350 block with a 307 crank. I have 65 or 66 camel hump heads on it. Has no accessory bolt holes on her. Anyways, that's a pretty damn good combination. And you can put that together for $2 and $1 bill, really, because nobody wants any of that shit anymore. That engine will run pretty good. It's got a gargantuan camshaft in it, which is completely impractical, but who cares? It'll sound cool. But nowadays, nobody wants that stuff. And that's cool, you know. But the problem with the Cleveland head chef was it was way too big. It's like they went from shitting through a straw to shitting through a barrel. Because now the ports were so big in the Cleveland head, the cylinder volume couldn't bring volumetric efficiency high enough. So it's like you needed to put a supercharger on anything running Cleveland heads just to get the VE, the volumetric efficiency, to actually reach close to 100%. Because you couldn't get enough air naturally through that thing. Ooh, that wasn't a good sign. So the Cleveland head was a great, well-designed head. The 4-barrel anyway. The 2-barrel sucked. Chamber size is way too big. But yeah, they came back with that Cleveland-sized ports, but they were really big. I mean, damn near big as big block. But the little 4-inch, 4.25 bore, well, 4-inch bore cylinders couldn't fill it. Ooh, Sleet, yeah, that's no fun. Yeah, it's going to be miserable tomorrow. Hopefully, you don't have to go anywhere until Monday. I don't know when the storm's supposed to pass over, but hopefully, you got a couple days you can ride out. That's not going to be fun. Oh, nothing's wrong with running a supercharger other than the friggin' price of them. I love superchargers. I think they're great. What I don't like is the $8,900 or $9,000 price tag to get the complete kit and caboodle to throw on top of there. Time you buy the huffer unit itself, the intake manifold, the drive assembly, the belts, and all the other shit, plus the brackets you need to run your accessories around it. Carburetors, the fuel log linkage. I mean, you're $8,000-$9,000 into all that. It's like, wow, they look cool. I'd love to have one. I I swear to God, they must hand them out like candy in Australia because every friggin' car in Australia has got one on it. I want to know what kind of deal they got going on down there. Your supercharger and your JB is pretty unique. I mean, you got it for a great price, but I think it's because it's for a very specific use. I'm glad you used it and got it on there. It's definitely making it a ripper. But it's gotten better. I mean, from the time you first put it on to the last time you were at No Name, things run at 100% better. There's probably still a lot more there, but it's a hell of a lot closer than it was. I think when you guys were playing around with it and getting the boost reference thing figured out to the carburetor, it was working better. Yeah, it's come quite a ways. From first No Name to this No Name, this last one, I saw a huge difference. Huge difference. Swap meets. What, for a supercharger? Yeah, if I could trust the guy. I mean, I don't. You don't really know. Good inspection, I guess. Get a good look at the insides of it. Make sure the gears don't sound like a bag of marbles. I'd like to go sometime too, Chef. Hey, give me something to drink. Ooh. Yeah, one of these days I want to make it out there. Just during. So we have several events in the area right around time of No Name, and usually we're wrapping up our summer paving season and stuff. So it's like last minute striping and all that jazz. It really depends. Lately, it's because of my kids I haven't been able to go, but my youngest is finally graduating. So, yeah, you never know. Maybe I can make a plane to ride out there. But I'd like to go. I've been buying my tunnel rims that way. Well, let's see. I picked up a tri-power unit for a FE at swap meet for $1,200. That's pretty good. It is complete. Swap meets are still good. They were kind of dying off there for a little bit, but I think people got tired of the whole eBay shipping bullshit fucking story. So I think swap meets have come back, at least a little bit around here. We don't have a ton of them like I think they do back east. Oh, Is that what kind of closes the gap on the veins, JB? Those reeds? I hear a lot of the street blowers have those, if it's the thing I'm thinking of. Okay. Oh, you're going to one Sunday? They got one here at the Expo Center or the fairgrounds this Sunday. Tomorrow. I was thinking about going, but I really don't need to buy anything else. I've got enough crap. Yeah, I think when I left Albuquerque, I turned the wrong direction. I keep telling everybody that. I should have went to Tennessee instead of Washington. I just think I would have been happier in Tennessee. It seemed like the car culture there and the events and the old stuff is just way better there than it is. It was good out here for a while, but I think the other individuals of the country have ruined the West Coast. Well, I keep saying the same thing, Chef. Eventually, I'll get some more junk around here running. Oh, did it? There was a car show at the Expo Center? Is that the third place you're talking about? I remember there being a swap meet slash car. Oh, are you talking about the Roadster show? Because it used to be a fall swap meet slash car show at the expo. But then they moved the um, Roadster show from, where the hell was it? It was at the convention center, and they moved it to the expo center. Is that what you're talking? Yeah, well, here's the thing. They have a lot of those driving, well, not the driving drags, but like sick weeks. I was thinking more like the power tour type stuff. It seems like they have different power tours, like sick week is like a power tour of sorts, and they have a few different ones like that. Those sound like cool things to go to. Tour the countryside, like a week long road trip, your old classic. That'd be kind of cool. We had an all Ford swap meet in the beginning of June in Beaverton or Hillsboro. It used to be really big, and it was a car show slash swap meet. And man, it kind of shrank up the last few years. Well, 10 years ago, it took a pretty good hit, but I don't know. It's slowly gaining a little bit of ground. Oh, it was in the fall. I bet you because they had at the Expo Center they had a show going on in I think it was either Hall A or Hall C or one of the two, and then they had outside and Hall B was inside swap meet and outside swap meet. That was a good swap meet too, and they stopped doing that one for some unknown weird reason. I heard they have Carlisle, Pennsylvania has a pretty gnarly Ford. Well, shit, they got a swap meet for all the makes. They have one for Chevrolet, one for Mopar, one for Ford in Carlisle. Oh, okay. See, that's kind of cool when you can go to a swap meet and you can practically put together a car just from the meet alone. That's kind of fun. Sometimes I do that when I'm walking around the swap meet. I'll see a project car. I'll go, huh. And I'll keep walking around. I'm like, oh, there's the engine. Oh, there's this. You can just about put the damn car together at the swap meet. Really? I find we got Hall C. Oh, okay. Hall C was the model. Hall A is where. Yep, Hall A. Okay, yeah. That was some time ago. Let's see, 99. I wasn't back here till '01. And I remember I went in 2001. I think it was, yeah, 2001. In 2002, I think by '03 they stopped doing that event. It only ran like 2 or 3 years after. I remember going to it before I left for the service with my dad. But it only ran for a few years after I got back. And they stopped doing it. It was stupid. It was a good meet. We've got all kinds of S10 shit at our swap meets. I mean, every one I go to, there's no shortage of at least some. It depends on what you're looking for, too, I guess. But there's quite a few S10s running around out here. The early first gens and second gens. Oh, nice. It was kind of a cool little car show they had going on. I remember that. Yeah, because I think you paid, you could do, it was like $5 for the swap meet and then another $5 for the show, or maybe it was $250 and $250. I can't remember what it was, but I know they're two separate things. That was a fun event. Maybe the car club that was hosting it disbanded or decided they didn't want to do it anymore. I don't know. But for being a fall meet, it was kind of cool because you can go in and get a lot of the parts you think you might be needing for your winter project, you know. The one in April is great, but usually when the weather gets better, you don't want to be working so much on your shit. You want to be out driving around. So I kind of like the swap meets. Like we had Chehalis in October in Canby. Canby's still going on. It's beginning of September, I think. And it was nice going to those meets in the fall because you could go hunt down a bunch of stuff you needed for stuff you're working on over the winter. I like the fall swap meets. And they were doing one at the racetrack, PIR, for a few years. I don't know what happened to it. If you do find them there. Oh, really? Wow. Yeah, the first gens, you don't see, you see quite a few of them running around here. You certainly don't see a whole other stuff for sale. You're right there. Second gens are definitely getting popular. Those are the ones that are V8 swapping quite a bit that I noticed. Or they're making wheeler trucks out of them. We got a lot of wheeling going on out here. Now that I think about it, you're right. I don't see a huge amount of first gens running around. But most of them I do see running around are V8 swapped. I know of a couple right now. A buddy of mine has one. So they're still out there. It might be up your alley. We even got a bunch of those Love pickups running around here too. Those little Chevy Loves. I don't know if those are popular, if we're even into those or not. But I see quite a few Chevy Loves running around, especially when the weather gets better. You'll start seeing more of them come out. Another friend of mine had one, I want to say it was a 75, 74, 75. He had that crazy long 9-foot bed on it or something. It looked goofy, but it was kind of unique, you know. He had that one for years and he got T-boned in it. And then I think he got a short box version of that. I don't know if he still has that one or not. I don't think he does. I know he was going to V8 it, but I don't know if it ever happened or not. He's the guy I got my brown duster from. Hell yeah, you V8 swap those. You want to go fast, don't you? It's either that or you put a supercharged V6 in it. Most guys just skip that part and go straight to the V8. Well, by that next generation, dude, they think they were kind of trying to cheapen it up a little bit to make a better profit. The thing with the 91 though was it was so horribly slow with the Iron Duke in it couldn't shake itself apart. So it would just last, you know. You couldn't destroy it. But the 95 though, they were really starting to get a little chintzy, and I don't know, they weren't horrible. No worse than the Ranger. The Rangers are just as bad. I mean, you want to talk about pile of shit? Let's talk Dakotas. There was a pile of shit. Jump. Yep. Yeah, we got some people around here that like to put Chevrolets in the Rangers, unfortunately. Well, I mean, I don't know if you've seen those engine bays. There ain't a lot of room. Yeah, there ain't a lot of room in those Ranger engine bays. So I mean, the Chevrolet with that nice short water pump and the short overall length does make for a little bit better fit. If Ford would have come up with a little bit shorter front dress on that small block, it would be a little more ideal. But then again, I mean, why not put a 4 liter in it or something like that? Oh, that crap. Yes, well, I'm not familiar with the spider injection, but I've heard of it. I've heard it's a nightmare. I mean, the original Vortex shit, the throttle body, that was, pretty much foolproof. Basically, if you wanted to put a 302 in a Ranger, you're either going to give up some space in the core support or you're going to body lift it. I mean, that's the only two ways you're going to get that in there. There just isn't enough real estate. If you do a body lift, it'll clear, or I guess if you cut the heater box out of it, that's why you needed the body lift because the heater was in the way. Yeah, and the remote, yeah, remote oil filter was a thing too. Yeah, but that wasn't too big a deal. Even back then, you could go to some of the trucks or some of the cop cars had those factory remote setups. You can just steal that off of there. They were add-on oil cooler remote filter setups. You should just beat shit out of the way. Who needs a kit? Yeah, but I mean, in Chevrolet's defense, the small block Chevy is a pretty compact motor. I mean, it's short. It's what makes it fit good. I mean, who the hell's small block swapping Mopar shit? They're so long. I mean, I've got one right here on the engine stand. It's a long engine. I mean, by the time you get and there's no water pump choices. You're stuck with that water pump. That front cover, that water pump, that's it. Mopar has no options. That's all you get. Ford had a couple of different water pump options. They did make a SVO or motorsport short version, but then you got to play the pulley game, you know. So, I mean, Chevrolet had. That's what I mean. That's what made Chevrolet so goddamn popular was they had this set and they had this set, and this shit fit, and this shit fit tighter. You know, that's how it was. You had the short water pump, which fit everything, and the long water pump, which fit most everything. I think the long water pump is essentially the same as a small block Ford lengthwise, essentially. Did have to move the firewall back. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it'll stuff. I think you just got to hang the radiator on the front of the core support rather than behind it, and it'll go in. It's just if that's what you want to do. Oh, well, thank you very much, Yummy Sandwich. I'm nobody special, just me, car guy extraordinaire. We're just having a little BS session amongst other car guys. I just got a G body in it. It just fit in. Well, now that's something to be said. Those G bodies, a lot of people didn't know, those are actually pretty nice little race setup. I didn't know much about G bodies either, and those things are lightweight. I was surprised. Oh, yeah, same here, man. Yeah, you might want to get some rest. You might have a heck of a drive in the morning. Glad to have you on here, JB. It was awesome. I know I don't get to hang out as much. I've been working a lot lately. I want to bounce into one of your lives too, but man, got to get things done. It's hard. But thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Be safe, stay warm, and you know the lug nut thing. Watch out for guys like me, loose lug nuts. G body cars are not bad. I'm not a Chevrolet guy, but a friend of mine was, and he got his hands on a '78 Malibu Classic. We started playing around with it, and discovering that car was actually pretty light. And once we kicked the four-way power seat out of it and did a bunch of other modifications, it had a 305 in it, which that was another discovery. Those 305s can really rip when you do the right things to them. Uh, it wasn't going to pull a fucking car trailer, but it was fast when you wanted it to be fast. A set of headers, mild cam intake, some good exhaust and a loose converter, and that friggin' Malibu was quick. And for little to no money, I think we did a little head swapperoo at some point. But, yeah, there's a little uncapped potential with those G bodies. Like I said, I'm not a Chevy guy, but there's definitely potential that I think people missed. Some people caught on. I know before I went into service, we had a little local street racing scene. And that was the time I started noticing there was some more G bodies showing up to the meets. We'd meet at Home Depot, and then we'd go pick a place to go race. And there were more of those cars, which is why my buddy went and bought the Malibu he did. And then another friend of mine also did the same thing. He got a Malibu as well. And yeah, there's a lot of potential in those cars. A lot of potential. And they're not bad looking. They give them that box top name? Or is that strictly the Caprice? But they're cool. When you say big body, you mean like a Caprice? I know some of those old box top ex-cop cars, they were, old 98. Yeah, almost the same thing. Same chassis, basically. Some of those freaking cars, man. I mean, you watch these old TV shows and watch these old cop cars in action. Those full-size Chevys, they could move. They were pretty stout, pretty quick at the same time. I believe it. Yeah, I don't. There was many Chevrolets owned in my family. My mom drove a '75 Nova when we were kids. She drove that for a while, and my dad had a square body, short bed Chevy pickup for a short time. Other than that, it was mainly Fords. Ah, okay, that explains it. My mom's dad, they lived in Kansas. He worked for, I think he was in the Pontiac plant. And they lived in Kansas. Yeah, he worked for GM in the Pontiac plant. He was kind of a Pontiac guy, but he owned Fords too. So it was kind of funny. Yeah, he worked my mom's dad, my grandfather. He worked for Pontiac in the Pontiac factory. I want to say in Kansas City, but I can't say that for sure. Oh, I remember you talking about that. You had found one of those multi-port pump deals. I think it was one of your "Can you guess what this is?" Posts you put up. I knew right away what it was because I just happened to watch another episode of Complete Toilet Garage was talking about that same setup. So I knew what it was. I didn't want to answer it. I figured I'd let it run for a while. But yeah, you'd mentioned in that video or a video alongside of it how you and your dad had done that. That was a pretty popular thing. That was pretty cool. Oh, they were trying something different, I guess. So, question: what makes it an interceptor motor? What do they do different? To be honest with you, I don't. Other than the Lightning motors, I didn't really see too much difference between any of the small blocks. But my dad did happen to buy a brand new 1994 Lightning off the lot. This was when I was back in high school. He went and bought one brand new, and that GT40 351 was flipping impressive, really impressive for its time. That thing could shit and get. Oh, I wonder if anyone tried racing those 350 blocks. Seems how they were a little bit more stout. You know what I mean? If someone took the time to really figure out how to make them things run, being as it's a built block. Obviously it's heavier, but you'd think it'd be pretty stout. You could really make it, make some power, something worthy for the racetrack. Maybe not. I don't know. But it came back up. Well, I understand that. Let me hold on a second. So I bought a 351 Windsor out of an '87 Caprice cop car. Do you think anything was special about it? No. They even had that shitty variable Venturi carburetor on it, but it was on a cop car. So I don't know about this whole police interceptor thing. I'm just being honest with you. The only thing about that 351 Windsor that was impressive was the fact that 287,000 miles on it already, and it hauled all my shit back. 14,500 pounds I was pulling with that truck. It made it all the way back here barely, not having too much crazy blow by. And it sure wasn't very fast. Besides, maybe Chef can back me up on this one or not. I'm fairly convinced that most of the blocks made after 79 are not nearly as strong. Because I keep hearing about those externally balanced 302s splitting right down the middle at a certain horsepower level. Now, that horsepower level being 500 horse, I mean, to a lot of people, that's probably not necessary. 300 or 400 is more than plenty, for most applications. But, yeah, computer timing, gears in the rear, that's believable, yeah. So when I'm building a 302, I try to stick to the earlier blocks, 79 and earlier. I'll use a 289 block. Cramp my foot. I'll use a 289 block and put a 302 crank in it. If you've ever had the early castings and the late castings side by side, you'll notice the castings are not nearly as porous, for one. Two, are a little bit thicker. So I don't know exactly when the change in the rods and caps were, but they used the same rods and caps. I know at least up till 79 or 78, somewhere around there. The block casting definitely changed in 80. Then you got to watch out for that stupid, what was that oddball cubic inch one? 281 or something? No, what 281? 255. But it just seemed like the 302, the quality of the casting and the strength and everything, kind of dwindled away once it hit the 80s. So whenever I build a 302, I always like using the old ones. I happen to have one Mexican block, and I have several. I got a 70. I have several pre-70 blocks. Just those are the ones I like to hang on to. According to the numbers. Well, and it could have been nothing more than a camshaft and some timing. I highly doubt they increased the compression ratio in a cop motor in those years. I bet you it's probably had a different cam in it and probably had a straight up timing set, because they were putting the retarded timing sets and everything back then. And I'm willing to bet you the cop car probably had a straight up set. 72 was the transition year for what? Okay. Well, there you go. So obviously a standard 302 wouldn't be the same. So maybe that's all it was the HL cam shoved into those SSB engines. I do know, because my neighbor, when I was growing up, the next door neighbor was a highway patroller, and he had one of those Interceptor Fox bodies. And it was a little more, you could definitely tell it had a little more power under the hood than normal. I just couldn't tell you what they did to it. But it was definitely quick. Actually, you could go another year. 73 wasn't as bad. The 302, the blocks you don't want are the 74, 75, 76, 77. Yeah, and 77. So 74 to 77, those are the blocks you do not want because they're taller deck blocks. So instead of the 802, the 8.206, they're 8.224 or some shit like that. Don't ask me how I even remember this shit off the top of my head. I honestly don't know. It's stuck in there. So the 8206 blocks are the ones you want. And those are the blocks that started off in the 289 days all the way up to 73. 74, they increased it to 8224 or whatever the hell it is, up to 77. And then 78, they grew a brain, dropped it back down to 8206, but then they ran that giant 69cc chamber on there to keep the compression low. So when you get to 78, all you have to do is take the heads and throw them in the trash. The blocks that you want will be okay. So if you got an 80 it'd be worth investigating. Just the problem is now you've got an external balance engine. Those I'm not a fan of. There's probably nothing wrong with them, but the internal balance engines are usually happier with RPM. All the weight's on the inside rather than hanging on the ends of the crank. Because you go from a 28-ounce imbalance to a 50-ounce hanging out there. I would rather have the 28s on the ends and more weight in the middle. And I think that's part of the reason why they're blowing the cranks out of them is all the weight hanging on the outside. I don't quote me on that, but it's just my thought. Because you don't hear the cranks getting blown out of the small blocks in the early years nearly as much as you do the later years. The good heads are on the Explorer. Those are those P heads, aren't they? If I remember right, the P heads. I can't remember the number on those. Oh, yeah, the SSPs. I mean, there's guys running those. It's probably going to be fine for whatever you do with it. But I just about, like Chef was saying, it's probably just a cam, maybe a boost in compression, probably a little bit fancier tune on the computer, because obviously my neighbor that had one of those Fox Body SVO police cars, whatever the hell they were, it was not a normal stock Fox Body. It was definitely quick. He even will tell you it was quick. So I'm willing to bet you it's probably just a few items. Yeah, GT40P, that's right. And here's the thing. So Chef mentions the GT40P, which is fine. Those work fine, except for the application you're going to put it into. You have to be careful. You cannot use the P heads on some of the older cars because if you're going to run headers on these cars, those headers are not designed for the different plug angle on the P heads. On, I think, regular GT40s, they're okay, but the GT40P, the plug angle's off. And it usually runs into tube and spark plug issues. Header tubes run into spark plugs. Now, I personally like 65, 66, 289 heads, even over the 68, 9, 70, and 71. Except when you want to talk Windsor. The Windsors have a little bit of advantage, the 351 Windsor, because they are a little bit bigger port, but trying to find a set of 69 or 70, 351 Windsors and still do the port work to them, you're going to be into them a lot of cash. I like the 65, 66, 289 heads because they had the real small heart-shaped 54cc chambers. And you could open the exhaust side up. The intake really didn't need a whole lot of work, but I actually had a set done up. I put 194, 160 valves in it. I had the exhaust sides opened up as large as they would go. A little bit of work on the intake port. It outflowed a set of worked over E7TEs. And we all know the E7TE was supposed to be the other big bad boy on the block. Well, these 65 heads with the Chevy valves, as a matter of fact, that's what's on my Mustang right now. They work. But by the time you get done doing all that work to those cast iron heads, hell, nowadays you might as well go out and buy a set of aluminum heads. I mean, the aluminum aftermarket heads have gotten to be really inexpensive now. So using some of this old stuff is almost pointless. I like to do it just for nostalgic purposes, but you're going to be into them as much as an aluminum set at this point. Yeah, 93 Cobra. Yep. Had the GT40s. And those GT40s, the plug angles weren't so crazy. You could still run your headers, like say your 66 or 67 Fairlane or whatever those headers, basically it was the mid-size Ford chassis headers, um, would have the spark plug angle would have hit the header tube on the P heads, but on the regulars they wouldn't. Yeah, see, there you go. I'm sure there's some companies that make the headers that do fit. Like, say, if you wanted a '66 Mustang and you want to put the P heads on there, knowing it's '66 Mustang, somebody makes a set of headers for P heads on those cars. I know they do. They have to. It's just popular. But I'm not sure what you're putting this motor into. And like I said, the later blocks, the 80 and up blocks, as long as you're not going crazy on the horsepower, I don't think you're going to have a problem with it. Not Chevy rods, but yes, I think maybe in the early days, they used the Chevy rod with a stroker kit, but they've since gotten away from that. Chevy valves, yeah, it still happens. That's what's actually in my 289 heads are 194, 160 Chevy valves. But even if you want to only stuff up to 351 Windsor valves, that's still an improvement. And that should be 184, 154s, which is better than what's stock on those, Chef? Those things are tiny. 146 on the exhaust, I think. 178, 146. Does that sound right? So you're going from 178, 146s to 184, 154s. I mean, it's still an improvement. But yeah, the Chevy valve was the big. When I had those heads built by Mustang, I had them built back in '99, and that was the thing to do. So here's the thing with the 202s, and some machine shops won't even. I was shown by my machinist guy how the 202 was not a very good idea. It was better to save a little space. What happens with the 202 is it gets the valves really close together and they have a tendency to crack between the ports. Because that 202 and that 194, or I'm sorry, 160 valve, there's not a whole lot. And the other thing he said too was in order to get that 202 to flow like it should, you have to unshroud the living shit out of it on the far side. And now you're losing cc's in your chamber when you're doing that. So he says, just put a 194 in it. You'll lessen the chance of cracking between the valves. You'll have to do a lot less unshrouding on the far wall of the cylinder head. Those will run way better. It's not worth it doing the 202s. But, I mean, some people still do. So, here's the combination I got in my Mustang. And I could achieve more with it. I think I had a hotter combination in it before. Right now, it's a 289. I took 66 289 heads. These are the ones that are ported. 194, 160 valves. I have an Urson 502 cam in it. It's a 232, 234 lift or duration on a 502 lift. Compression ratio is a little sad because I only put high protected pistons in it. It's around 8.7 to 1. Right now it's got a tunnel ram on it. It runs way better with a single carb, but I was going for the cool factor. Anyways, that's around 363 horse with that setup. Now, if you take that exact same setup with a little bit more cam, like I think in that engine I was running the 496 512 224 234 duration. That was a 9-to-1 engine. I was just shy of 400 horse in the 302. Same heads. And let me tell you, when you get into that 360 to 400 horse range, that's going to make that thing scoot. That little Mustang too, she moves pretty good. Right now she's a milkshake maker because I blew the head gasket out of it. But, the funny thing is, the stock bottom end on both engines. I didn't ARP nothing. They are stock rods on both engines. They're cast pistons in one, hyper-eutectics in another. Um, and I've bounced the thing off the rev limiter at 7,500 RPM on both engines. I finally spun bearings in the 302, which is why it has a 289 in it now. But I never threw a rod, and I didn't blow any rockers off the thing. It was a fast freaking. It was a good build. The only thing I did was I didn't check the oil when I went out showboating, and I ran the thing out of oil, which caused the bearings to spin. It was my own neglect. Otherwise, it wouldn't have spun the bearings. And that's on a stock bottom end. Well, I have a very good machinist. He's a Ford guy too. I've taken a lot of pointers from him. And I've learned the hard way because I used to not have any money. So I used to build a lot of garbage that people will say, you can't do that or that won't work. And I'm like, hold on a second. Some of it didn't work. So I have different combinations I've built. I'm sure Chef has too. That we found over the years, just certain combinations of this, that, and the other that just seem to work really well. You know, another really good street version. So here's like a toned down version of that setup. I built this for my brother's Maverick. My brother's got a 70.5 Maverick, or 69.5 Maverick. So we did a 302 at his. Now here I did 75 302 heads. The reason why I went 75 is because the CC chamber of the head, and it was still semi-heart shaped. The only thing I didn't do is I should have put screw-in studs in the heads. But that was all right. It wasn't a big deal. Not a super lift cam. But I used 75 heads, put the compression ratio around 9:2:1. This time I used a Crower. I think a couple other brands use this grind. It's a 224. Think about this for a second here. 220, 230, or 224, 228 duration. So it's like a step down from the cam I was using. It was under 500 lift. 480. No, I did more than that. Anyways, his was more streetable. It had plenty of power to blow the tires off of it. Had a little bit of a rumble to it. It had better street manners than this thing has. Mine was not very happy on the street, especially this tunnel ram. The tunnel ram makes it worse. But I'm trying to remember the specs on that cam. It was a Crower Street Beast is what it was called. And several different manufacturers use that grind. Yeah, no problem, dude. I've played around with these Windsors for a long time. These were a really fun engine to play with because it was just such an open book. And I did it when I had no money. I mean, I'm 47 now. This is back in my 20s. I didn't have a pot to piss in or wanted to throw it out. I was scavenging, Chef can relate. We're scavenging parts off shit that was in the wrecking yards, I get excited when I find a performance cam and an engine in a wrecking yard. I'm yarding that out, But yeah, there's more than one way to skin a cat. You don't have to spend crazy money. You don't need roller lifters. You definitely need to do a little more extra preparation building engines nowadays because you can't trust the parts like you used to. I still build flat tappet engines. I just make sure that the tappets are in good shape. The lifters. The machining, I don't think, is the quality it used to be. And if it's not have the right amount of dome to it, we'll say dome, then you'll have problems with it. Same way with the cam. The cam has to have a certain amount of machined. How do you put that? One side of the lobe is going to be shorter than the other, so it makes like a ramp and it makes the lifter spin. Some of these camshafts coming out of the factory don't have the proper machine work in them. So that's the only bad thing about the flat tappet cams. I could talk all night about the stuff. Yes, there you are, right there. Yep. The cam I used in my brother's car was really similar to that one, Chef. It was like a 490 or 480, 460, or it was just a step below the 496, 512. The one people really like to run a lot because it sounded really throaty and lopey, and I think Ford Motorsport sold this one as well, was the single pattern 230 duration 512. That's a lumpy cam. That one sounds good. I think there's one more above that one that was 236 or 234, 520, 520, 520. That was a pretty. But then again, when you run these kind of cams, you have to have heads that flow it. No sense in. I was putting these kind of cams in my Ranchero way back in the day with heads that were nothing. And yeah, it would get there. It'd just take a little while, but it would build some power. But it took a little while. Definitely, you could see why they say headers required, heads that flow required, compression required. Definitely. But yeah, either one of those combinations, like the cam that Chef's talking about, or either one of those would make that little Fox run pretty damn good. But if you want to go into the roller world, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not super familiar with the roller cams. I know the Alphabet cams a little bit. Chef may be a little more versed in those than I am. I think the E cam was the popular one. That, I believe, was the 512 lift cam, right? The E303 cam. I know they had A, B, C, D, E, F. And I think there was some after F too, but I'm not super familiar. F was the big one. Yeah, F was the big dog. I'm trying to remember. That one was like a 542 lift and crazy duration. And I heard rumors that the computer did not like the F cam at all. Trying to get the fuel injection computer to work with it was a nightmare. And that's kind of where I stopped. When you get into the 80s and into those years, you started involving the computer. That's kind of why I shied away from doing a lot of the 80s and 90s stuff because I didn't want to get involved in the computers. I'm a carburetor guy. I like my carburetors. So I just stayed back that way. But there's some guys that figured out how to make this stuff run. How's that thing run, Chef, with that F cam in it? So I know the B303 is pretty computer friendly. I don't know if there's a C. I've never heard of a C cam. I know that there's a A303, a B303, a E303. I'm not sure about a D. There's definitely an F. I don't know how many other cams there are. Well, you learn as you go, man. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. My email will be at the bottom of any of my videos. So at any time, just flip me a note. It'll be Gmail. So any one of my videos has my email in it. So don't worry about having to write it down now. It should be at the end of this one. It'll be posted at the bottom. But yeah, feel free to anytime. Give you the best info I can get you. I mean, the biggest thing is, carb points. Shit, my 69 F100 is still running points on it. The best set of points you'll ever buy is made by Excel. I've had that 69 F100 for 30 years. I'm only on my second set of points. They're Excel points. Believe it or not. And the only reason why I changed them in is because I changed the engine. So if you ever find a set or sets, buy them. They're really good. But I've been doing carburetors the whole time. Edelbrock's, Hollies, I know now they're coming out with some wild ones like this Evil Energy's got their version, and Edelbrock's got their Holly ripoff, and I've done Autolites. Chef's done a lot of this stuff too. He's neck deep in the Ford world. Keep it simple is what I say. Carburetors and points are simple. Just keep it simple. Well, shoot, man. I think I might wrap it up for the night. I'm getting tired. Man, there ain't nothing wrong with bone stock, let me tell you. I mean, I got a few modifications on some of my rigs. Nothing major, but they left the factory that way and people drove them around as dailies for a long time. F is 288, 512, yeah. B is 284, 480. E is 282, 498. X was the other one. That's the one I was thinking of. Okay. So there was an X. See? Chef knows. Yeah, X has got the big lift on it. That's right. The thing with the E-Cam is the E-Cam was guaranteed to fit in just about any 302 without worrying about piston clearance. Once you get into the F and the X, you had to double check your piston fly cut to make sure it wasn't going to smash into the piston. Yeah, keep it simple. That's it. I mean, my 69, that's my winter beater. I'm going to try and not make it my winter beater from now on, but it might be the winter beater this year. Edelbrock, well, it's a Carter AFB, not even Edelbrock. It's a Carter AFB on a 351 Windsor C4 automatic. Points ignition. It is stock otherwise. The heater, the seats, I added power steering and disc brakes to it. I drive that damn thing every winter. In snow, sleet, you name it, ice, whatever. It starts up in 20-degree weather. You'll see if you ever hunt my videos. I'll have some shorts. This blue and primer 69 F100 points carburetor. Damn thing starts every time. Just it's easy, Yeah, that F cam, I think, Chef, was a lot of people's favorites. It just worked. I think that was you could get away with that lift. That 512 was like right on the edge of clearance. And that duration was it just worked. I remember the X cam was something you had to check your piston to valve clearance. But even the B cam wasn't a bad cam. That's a popular, the B cam was a popular one for the earlier blocks, that duration. I think that was pretty close to the 289 High Pro cam spec, that 480 lift. Yep, I'm not changing nothing about my 69. It does just fine. I'm leaving it points. I'm leaving until it gives me a reason not to. The carburetor, the choke, everything works. I can go out there right now, give it 2 pumps of the gas, it'll fire right out, and sit there in fast idle. And it's probably 22 degrees out right now. It gives me no troubles. I've graduated to disc brakes in the front. I live in the city, and it's more, not that I don't like drum brakes or mechanical manual brakes. I have to be more reactive to the other idiots on the road. So it's having the power disc brakes. It's insurance to keep me protected from the other morons on the street. Jerk offs cutting you off and on their phone and spilling their coffee all over themselves. Those clowns. Right on. I think in the very early days of my YouTube videos, Duke is my '78 Mustang. They're real early videos. I think I shot them on a VHS-C and tried to do the conversion. Anyways, I was spanking on a 70 or 80 Malibu or some shit in a couple of those videos. But that was the motor in that car that I was talking about. In the video where I'm racing, the Malibu was the 302. I might have some just idling videos of the 289 in my Mustang. I don't know if I have any driving videos of it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with drum brakes. My brother's still running manual brakes on his Maverick. He actually has manual disc brakes. He didn't want the booster on his car, so we put Comet disc brakes on the front of it, like '74 Comet, and we just put a manual master cylinder on it. It works fine. Nothing wrong with it. Well, nothing wrong with manual. Like I said, in his car, they work fine. I mean, his car doesn't weigh much, 2,800 pounds. With the discs give it more braking power. You know, my dad's '66 GTA is manual brake drum. You know that, and I think that one there, it scared the hell out of him when he took it out for a drive the first time. It was before he passed. I think wheel cylinders were not working because it scared the hell out of him. And then he brought it back and immediately started tearing the drum brakes off the front. And I think it would have worked fine because my Ranchero right now is still 4-corner drum brake. I am going to put discs on the front of it. But, yeah. I mean, I drove my Ranchero for years with drum brakes. Troll away. Go for it. Leave a comment. Tell me how stupid I am, too. I love hearing those. You're an idiot. I'll be sure and check your stuff out. I subbed you. Of course, I subbed Chef. Shit, I subbed him 5 years ago. Yeah, I got to catch up on some of Chef's videos. I get them every once in a while. I don't comment on everybody's video, but I'll watch them. A lot of times I'll have them playing here in the background. I'll be listening and watch and look up every once in a while, or I'll be inside milling around the house and I'll have videos on. So I don't usually comment all the time, but I'm listening. It's been a while, dude. I remember when we were, less than 100 subs, going to, what was his name? He was in the military, but he was doing all the lives at the time. Damn it. Bryce just mentioned him earlier. Wasted Talent. Remember Wasted Talent's lives and stuff? That was the days back when he was still in the service. It's been a while. Yeah. Yeah. I still haven't hit 1,000 yet. But I haven't really been trying that hard either. Well, that's cool. Yeah. Leave comments, tell me I'm an idiot or tell me, hey, show me this. That's probably the best way and the easiest way to get my attention. Just leave a comment in the video. If you had a question or something, I can get back to it that way. Or my email. You can just hit me with the email too. All views, even negative views, count. That's what I always say about the negative comments. I don't care. I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do anyways. But, maybe there's something I missed. Maybe there's something I didn't do right or I didn't think of. And every once in a while, a little insight, a little constructive criticism never hurts. I'm just another moron. I don't know everything. I think I do sometimes. I like to help everybody else out, though. I'm sure Chef agrees. I mean, we're just all helping out each other. It's all fun. And you want to talk about an extensive build going on. Chef was building himself a truck there for a while. I don't know if he ever finished it. He was putting together, I want to say it was a 95 F-150. You were doing one hell of a swap-a-roo on that thing. Oh, yeah, that'd be something. Yeah, I vaguely remember that. That friggin' Durango's got like half a bazillion miles on it too, doesn't it? If I remember right. And you still have it. Yeah, no problem, dude. Anytime, you know. I'll try and set aside some time to maybe do some more lives. I get so dang busy, but this time of year it can be a little slower. Oh yeah. Well, you know, we learn from each other too. I'm always learning shit every day. But yeah, it was awesome meeting you tonight. I never would have thought that. We chew a lot of the same dirt. I like it. It's cool. So I think we're gonna close her down for the night, anyways. Oh, I gotta apparently get up and get started and do everything I was supposed to do today. Oh, 93. There we go. 93 F-150s extended cab. Yep. Yeah, that's been a hell of a project he's had there. That's another good one to check out. Anyways, I think we'll shut her down for the night. Chef, it's been a pleasure. Same way with you, Duke. Meeting you all. And whoever else is there actually anybody else in here? Well, y'all have a great night. We'll see you on the next one, and I'll try and be better about making some more videos. Yeah, same here, man. It's been good. All right, guys. Have a good night. Stay warm. Don't go outside and do anything too stupid. Later.